クの怪獣ボーリングゲーム。狙いもピンセットも一人で OK だよ。ブルマークの怪獣ボーリングゲーム。
おいらは怪獣まずいらだ。ご飯がまずくなる恐ろしい怪獣ですね。あー坊やの運命やいかに完全と現れた正義の味方。さすがのまずいらも美味しいものには弱かったですね。ご飯の味方、何はなくとも江戸紫。
今新たな興奮が始まる。よみがえる熱きヒーローたち。超リアルな造形で完全再現。バンダイウルトラ怪獣シリーズ新登場。
Today on Collect All Monsters, we have such a crazy big pack show for you that you're gonna have to wait to hear about it till after the intro. Ikimashou!
Why, hello, and welcome to episode 16 of Collect All Monsters, another live YouTube program. This one's dedicated to the collectible side of the kaiju genre. My name is Kyle, and I am here with my 5 awesome co-hosts that are going to go around the room right now, just say who they are, how they've been, and if they've picked up anything recently, some box days, although we're going to try and breeze through this stuff because, oh my gosh, we haven't seen you live on YouTube at least since, since the March show where we were like talking about Godzilla versus Kong and Kong versus Godzilla. So we're going to go ahead and kick things over to my main man, Leslie Chambers. What's up, dude?
What's going on? What's going on? It's been a minute. It feels so great to be back with my fellow Kaiju Collectible Avengers co-host here, and with everybody here in the chat. So thank y'all so much for coming back and being part of this awesome show of Collect All Monsters, episode 16. Want to breeze through what's been going on with me, aside from the fact that people are going crazy because of a certain gasoline shortage here. Oh God, oh boy. But we ain't talking about that. We ain't gonna talk about that. Let's talk about the goodness of humanity. Let's talk about some kaiju stuff that I got for myself since the last time that we were acquainted. I got me a few of the Toho Special X books. Thank you to the Kino Kuni store that I talked about on our Collect All Monsters Facebook page, where you can go to that website and get these awesome books. So I got everybody's favorite monster, Mania, 1967 to 1969. Where it covers Mania from Son of Godzilla all the way up until Godzilla's Revenge. Of course, the 1968 Godzilla book. Oh, this book is awesome.
Sick.
This book makes me want to get more 68 figures, okay?
Yes.
1971 Godzilla book. And it's interesting. When you get this book, obviously this is the first time this suit was used and is in the best condition. But by the time we get that dry, oh my God, talk about intervention. That's all I got to say about that. Of course, everybody's favorite Godzilla sidekick and ally, besides Rodan, of course. Angus, 1968, 1974. Once again, this book covers from his appearance, his second generation appearance on Destroy All Monsters, all the way up until 1974, where he gets massacred.
Oh, nice.
Also, spoiler alert, there's only one page for Megalon because he was only in for like 10 seconds. So, and speaking of Megalon, the 1973 book, my first ever Godzilla movie. Everybody loves the monster of Justice Godzilla. Yes, we do. Now, I did get a few things for myself, but trying to breeze through things here, I'm going to show you probably my most favorite thing I got for myself in the past 2 months. And Kyle, I know you're going to feel this. the Duffel Reel,
Oh,
1996.
Oh, nice.
Gamera.
this is cute.
Wow.
Again,
Fantastic.
again, Kyle, I know that the Duffel Reel ain't your thing, but dude, if you don't get this one, at least get the 99. It's not in October. Otherwise, you're gonna have some work.
It looks so detailed. Wow.
Yes, yeah.
All of the
Dang.
Deaf for Real fans
This is
come for me
amazing.
when it's like one of my favorite monsters and they're releasing it. And I'm like, I'm not getting it.
And this is so amazing. And it's like, I think when it comes to the Death for Real, if I had chosen to once again head up the S Plus Figure of the Year poll like I did last year, it's going to be hard. I think I hate to say Figure is going to win it this year for the Death for Real. Either this one, the 99 Gamma, or the Biolante. So that's my bold prediction. And I got the Rick. Actually, I have to amend that. With the flower. This is mine. This is Sandra. Sandra saw this. Is like, give me the flower. Give me the flower. I can't stand the turtle, but give me the flower. I'm like, okay, because that's what we do around here. That's pretty much it. What I got for myself. So without further ado, I'm gonna kick it over to my main man up there in Seattle, Washington, the one and the only David F. Dopko. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Leslie. Thanks so much. It's nice to see everybody. It seems like it's been a long time since we've done this, as you said before. Can you guys hear me okay?
Dude, you silky
Perfect.
smooth.
Good. Because I wasn't sure. I didn't want to just start mouthing words because I have a new microphone set up that we're just trying out for the first time. So
Sounds great.
hopefully it's going to be good. Thank you. So yeah, great to see everybody. I know my husband Keith is watching today, which is great. He's hooked now, I think. So
Thank
that's
you.
pretty awesome. So before I do my show and tell, which I'll go really fast because Kyle, Christine, and John and I did a video last week or the week before. I can't remember when it was. And we did in-depth versions of our show and tell. So we're just going to kind of breeze through it. So that's why we're going to go pretty quick. Leslie wasn't able to join us. So anyway, before I do that, I just want to talk about an opportunity that I had to be featured in Kaiju Ramen magazine. Kyle, I think I have an image that I sent to you. I'm in their Artist Alley section. It's a really cool online magazine, and I think they still have some physical copies available.
Oh, nice.
You could check with Michael and Travis at kaijuramenmagazine.com. So yeah, that's my little spread, some of my photos, which I was very pleased and honored to be a part of. Thank you guys.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it was really exciting, and it was great fun. It was great fun, and I really appreciate the opportunity. So real fast, I'm going to give a shout out to Shutam. Thank you so much for the beautiful beta capsule gift. Love it. Thank you so much. And I'm also going to give another shout out to Calico Chris for this old issue of Monster World that I have my very first article in. Thank you so much to him for sending this to me. It's very kind. We have some great people in our community. I've always said that, and I'll continue to say that. Thank you so much. And let's see. So as far as things that I got, this is the Grail. Finally got it back in my collection. Toy Graph. Oxygen Destroyer, Godzilla Exposed Skull.
So
You guys know what
amazing.
that is. This is from our garage sale. This is from Del Champagne Martinez. I got this back in my collection again. This is the Billiken 1975 30 centimeter Godzilla. I still think this is the quintessential version of this suit. Real quick,
David, I think you have just set up a thing. You have to lean into the microphone every time you say quintessential.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do that again. Quintessential.
Perfect.
So this is a beautiful old resin kit by Yuji Sakai, a Kyoto from Steve Sarujiushi that I purchased from him at the garage sale. Really awesome. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, this is the little teeny tiny Kingu Seesaw, the statue. And if you go to our Collectible Monsters, Monster Collectors, there's a story about this guy that's kind of tragic and sad, but it turned out well in the end. So this little guy's awesome. I think we're gonna do something special with these, but I'm just gonna show it to you. The Mondo Godzilla.
Yes.
Mondo Godzilla Tiki mug. I think we're gonna do something special, but more about that later. And then finally, I got this book, which we will be talking about later too. Yep. I'm not going to say anything else about that. And I believe that is everything for me. That was pretty fast. I can't believe I did it that fast. So how about you, Christine? What did you get and what have you been doing lately?
I banged myself up a little bit. Apparently I don't know how to ride a bicycle. So I went on a bike ride and I got this nasty, and my knees all busted up. I got bruises everywhere. So I think I'm gonna invest in some knee pads and some elbow pads like I'm 5 years old again.
You gotta protect the Collect All Monsters investment, Christine.
I know.
That's right.
I just ran into a bush and then I wiped out on the sidewalk.
Oh, wow.
So, and actually, I'm like, how old am I? I was like, the next day I could like knock it out of bed. My neck was hurting. My back was hurting. I was like laid flat out. I was like, am I that old already? Like, I'm not ready.
Oh, please.
So I actually got one of my holy grails in. And David, it's all your fault.
Uh-oh. What'd I do now?
Oh, you did it.
You did it. I forgot to ask you.
Yes. Right after we did our live unboxing.
Wow.
And then I got all like paranoid because like we had put the link up and I was like, oh my God, I need to go get it. So, but I did a terrible thing though. And nobody else do this. I don't have a job yet. And I bought this credit card. So I'm hoping I get a job. I'm planning on a job coming to me in the next month or so. Hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't pass it up. And thank gosh that I bought this because Mandarake just put up. I bought a Mandarake. They just put up another one for $100 more. So I'm like, how many of these things does Mandarake have? They've had like at least 5 or 6 listed. Like, do they just have like a bunker somewhere full of toy graph skulls that they're just like hoarding?
Takarada
they must, Christine, because there was a time when there was none. Like there was like a span of several years where you didn't see any. There was zero.
Nothing.
So maybe they're just like, cashing in on the Godzilla versus Kong, bandwagon. And okay, now's the time. People are interested in Godzilla. Maybe we're going to sell them now. And by the way, it's not my fault. It's Kyle's. He's the one that told you about the link. So
no, because I had it on my watch list on Mandarake because you bought the one I think that I had. So I was like, oh my God.
Oh.
And then I saw this one on there, so I had like, I'm just gonna. I mean, I've been wanting it forever, and it's not getting any cheaper.
Congrats.
So I figured I'll just do it. So then I also got. I know, no, I don't think so. I think I showed this off in our live unboxing, but the Funko Pop City Lights Walmart exclusive Kong has like this really cool purple colorway. It's actually really pretty. I'm still waiting on the Godzilla. It still shows that my order is gone through. It's just delayed, it says. So really hoping I get that. And then I forgot to show this off. The Medicom Wonderfest Glitter Ghidorah. I got this off Yahoo Japan Auctions, I think like 2 months ago, but I didn't get to show it off yet. And I'm so glad I got it. Like it's like clear vinyl. It's just like glitter everywhere inside. It's like it really, really, really shines. I absolutely love this thing. And and then just like David, I think all of us got one of these. Beautiful. The Mondo Showa Godzilla Tiki mug. I love these. And we got these I think it was at Walmart. We found these big old fat colored straws for them. So I think maybe next month or something we'll be doing something with these. But I am so in love with this thing. It's awesome. So that's my I think I got stuff all over the place. That's all I got. So yeah, that's my
good.
And then the Crunchyroll Sleeping
Crunchyroll,
Godzilla, which are very, very cute. Of course I had to get the blue one because I love blue. All right, so let's see what you got, John. I know you probably got a ton of stuff in the past 2 months.
Here we go.
The meat of the episode starts now.
First, this has been yesterday was an overwhelming day. So I have to start off with, first of all, I'm doing fine. It's great. Just great to be with you all. It's been a long time, like you said, Kyle. Mm-hmm. But I have to give out a special thanks to so many people. First, I want to start off with a special thanks to Giuseppe Bianco of Kaiju Sketches. Over a month ago, he sent me one of his wonderful illustrated Shin Godzilla.
Wow.
So I want to thank him.
Nice.
Please follow him on Instagram, Kaiju Sketches. Beautiful.
Yeah, his stuff is great.
Work. Absolutely.
And he's a super nice guy too.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. I miss
it's so unique.
Yes. And okay, let's see. I have a little order here. Now, I want to thank Jim Saranella of Celebrity Icons for not only continually supplying my addiction to the addiction to the Toho SFX series, but he sent me some really, really cool, because I've been addicted to them lately, as the Godzilla discount movie tickets that he had. So I thank him for what he sent me. Really, really great. Thank you, Jim.
Oh, nice.
And now this is the big thank you. Oh my goodness. And you all knew about this and kept a secret. I have a special thanks to James Patrick of Kaiju Canvas. Yesterday in the mail, surprise box day of this incredible Godzilla 2000.
Beautiful.
Now, here's what's amazing. First of all, I was floored. This is custom painted by Steve Sarujiushi. I mean, I cannot believe. I've always wanted him to do something for me, but I know he's so great, so much demand, an amazing kit builder, everything. And to get this, and I heard some of you all seen it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
I knew that was coming.
Big thank you to James and to Steve. And I mean, this is the best. I mean, it's just going to make
gorgeous.
Yes, it is. The paint application is amazing. And so thank you. I will always cherish this. And
it glows in the dark too, right, John?
And it glows in the dark. And I'm working on something. So maybe I'll post it on our Monsters Collectors.
Got to see your pictures, yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, and now I'm going to be quick here, but I'm going to try. Shout out to my brother who made me this cool shirt today. You know, Sakai Kodomo Lando from Godzilla vs. Gigan, the Godzilla Tower shirt. Quickly, let me go through some things that I got. Be fast here. Okay. I'm doing this retro thing. I found the remote control Mechagodzilla.
RC.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Wow.
We have in the collection of digital files for Collect All Monsters, we have the commercial for the Godzilla one of those. The Chapin. Yeah.
Awesome.
I got this from the House of Fun in Jersey. Love the House of Fun. If you're ever in Jersey, it's about 15 rides from my house, but my. I'm trying to keep that secret until I get everything that I want. While I was there, I also picked up this great Bandai re-release of King Ghidorah kit. So I got that.
Oh, nice. John, you were making out here.
Oh, I've got issues. And whenever there's trouble, you know.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Well, they got the beta capsule, so you know. Yes. David, we have to compare our notes here. This is fantastic.
Mine has no sound.
Wait, John, did you open the one from M1? Wasn't there one you had from M1 that you're supposed to open?
Oh, I didn't open it. So we will do that together. David, we will do it.
I want to see what's inside that.
Yeah, I do too. But I'm a procrastinator. You know, I will sit on things. A couple more things to share. Oh, this is my good friend Eric. He's like my road dog. We go everywhere. We grew up together. He got me the Godzilla 64 bus.
Nice.
Right on.
Wow.
But wait, where'd you? Wow, that's. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I love the bus.
Yeah, I do too. And I'm reluctant to open it because it's pretty high up in the number count. I'm kind of like, do I want to open it? Do I really want to bust it?
Is it a model kit, John, or is it already painted?
It's already done, but you know they do a limited number, and you get to tell you what number of.
Nice.
But real quick, couple more items.
That's really cool. I like that. That's cool.
Oh,
is that the FYE one? That was the FYE exclusive, I think it was.
Well, I didn't get it from there. It's a shop in New Hope, Pennsylvania. I found it.
Oh, that's so cute. I gotta get that one. That's adorable.
Yes. And then I got a couple more things.
Yes, Gojiban! Oh, he's so cute.
I gotta get one of those for Keith. I gotta get one of those for Keith.
Okay.
Yes.
I know. I think that is it.
And I'm sorry, folks. That's about all the time we have for the show. We'll see you next time.
Actually, John, I'm impressed with how quickly you went through stuff.
That was quick.
Well done, sir.
That was exciting.
We got to bust.
You always get
we gotta
awesome
bust
stuff.
Don
I
every
don't know how
chance
you
we
find
get.
these things.
You know.
Yeah, I had to pull some things to the side. I'll wait till next time.
Sure.
So, Kyle, how have you been, and what do you have to show us?
Yeah, pretty good. I think I may have mentioned this during one of our group live streams. I'm fully vaccinated now.
Yay.
I'm super excited about that.
Awesome.
I don't understand. I don't understand politics these days, but vaccinating yourself against this disease is absolutely not a political issue, and like it's the way to get everything back to normal. So I definitely want to take this time to beg the people who are watching, good Lord, good Godzilla, please just go get yourself vaccinated. It's free. Anyway, that's how I've been doing. I also have had some box days, and we've had some live unboxings on the group, which has been a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I will very, very quickly show off Behemoth. Produced
you got
by
that.
Yeah, this is produced by YMSF or
Yeah.
Raymundo Toys for, I think, legal reasons. Anyway,
I think he's the only one that's made that so far, I think,
he's
right?
the only one. There may be some people who've done some like custom stuff, like one-offs or 3D print stuff. A lot of stuff going on right now in terms of like people making things on their own, where it's hard to keep a handle on it. I also got the Crunchyroll sleepers, the nappers.
That's so cute.
Those guys are awesome. As you saw, this was the big last reveal for my box day on the group, was this Big Club, which I really, really love him. And he's just the same size as the old giant Bullmark, which is great, but he's in a better colorway. I did also show off that I got both the Godzilla and the Kong graphic novels from Legendary, so I could get a little more of the story.
I still need to get those.
Do you?
I want the Godzilla one, though.
The Godzilla one...
That's what I want.
I gave my little review on the show, but basically the Godzilla one is it's a story that follows him going around the globe in between the previous movie and the new movie, basically shutting down Titans. So it's kind of a cool story, but at the same time, it's also written from a weird third person in Godzilla's head kind of thing. So it's got a weird narration to it. That said, the artwork in the Kong one is much better than the story. But they're still sort of benign, and neither one of them made me go, well, I feel a lot better about this new Godzilla versus Kong movie now. Irregardless, that's one of the many books that we're going to talk about in this episode. And of course, I did get this tiki mug as well. Yes, and as I think Christine mentioned, we are going to have a happy hour, and we're going to schedule that. I think it's going to be at the end of this month, but we'll figure that out and let you know. It'll be in the group, and I can definitely say that one of my old Kaiju Cast co-hosts, Sane Donahue, is a tiki dude, and he has actually created 3 signature drinks for us to try out and try and make, actually. So we're going to have more information on that as it becomes available. But we'll go ahead and move on to the thing that I actually should have started the whole episode with, because in the intro I say you'll have to hear about it later. What's going on in this episode, guys? Let's talk about it. First up, thanks to all 43 people who are watching us here on YouTube. You guys are all awesome. In just a couple of minutes, I'm sure Leslie is going to give out a ton of killer shout outs. But in the meantime, let me tell you that we are going to be welcoming a couple of special guests into this episode. Number 1 will be Richard Cox of Club Tokyo. We're going to talk to him about the new Patreon they have going on. Also, we're going to have John Bellotti Jr. come on, and he does artwork, and we have a really, really cool reveal and announcement that's going to be happening later after the news. And then we're going to finish things off in this episode with a couple of big bangs. Number 1 is a segment dedicated to the Big 5, which Leslie will probably describe when we get down there. But basically, the Big 5 of Toho, that would be Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, King Ghidorah, and Mechagodzilla. So we'll deal with that after the intermission. We have a giveaway that we're doing, and if that's not all, we have our monster showcase where we
Yes.
Can I say, you guys are awesome and beautiful viewers, and we have almost 100 photos this time. So
What?
well done. Well
amazing.
done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Glad
It
that
was-
you all
it was
know right up
amazing.
at the top of the show.
That was
Really
fun.
popular
That was a fun one, yeah.
hashtag. I think that was actually Christine's idea for that hashtag. So thank you
Love
for
my
that
Safari
idea.
selfies. What can I say?
It was really great, and you guys outdid yourselves. It was phenomenal, and you know, I label them, and Kyle sets it up, so I know there was a lot of them, and you know, and it was really fun to see
They're
them
fun,
come in,
yeah.
kind of filter in. So I try to feature them in the group, and everybody seemed to have fun doing it. So thank you, and I can't wait to show them to everyone.
Yes, thanks, guys.
Going to be fun. Going to be a big show. And let's go ahead and kick things off by inviting that first special guest on. Now, I would like to give Richard a little bit of an introduction, if you guys don't mind. I've known Richard for many, many a year. In fact, back when, like, before I even was working on Henshin Online, I think he and I were chatting about HTML stuff. But clubtokyo.org. Hands up in the group, who has used clubtokyo.org as a resource for information about kaiju figures?
All the time.
Absolutely.
Leslie's not holding his hand up, but that's okay. That's okay. Oh, you know what? We're bringing him on. I forgot to do the shout outs. Leslie, you want to do the shout outs real quick?
Sure, no problem.
That's not awkward.
It's cool. It's cool. I'm sure they don't mind. Kaiju Casted Media, Ultimate Kaiju and AVP Collector. I love that name. Kaiju Battle, Chris Hallett, Jonathan Portman. There's something about that dude. John Parkinson, Sam Torres, Liam Foley. Hell no, what's going on? Blue Powder. I love that name too. Hey, David, your significant other is up here. Keith is up here. That's a little train 1090. Albert Escobedo. Once again, I'm sorry if I killed that. I am so sorry. Andrew Robach, Paul Plutzker, Ultraman Kaiju, Ryan Chipwood, Ryan Mitchell. What's up, man? Gordon Flynn. What's going on? Matthew Buzzell. Lolo. Hey, what's up, Lolo? Robert Dwyer, Eric Stokes, just a lot of people in the chat right now. We're at 48 strong. I'm sure we'll get more people.
Yeah.
So thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for being part of this.
Definitely. Thank you for watching live. Thank you for tuning in and being part of this episode. And huge egg on my face for trying to start an introduction before we were ready to move on. So let's bring on Richard Cox, a man who I've known for many a year, a guy who ran Club Tokyo along with Mike Johnson. But that website has recently been taken down, and to the dismay of many a kaiju collector. And so what we're doing is we're having Richard on so he can talk to us about the relaunch and the rebuild and the everything for Club Tokyo, because I'm really excited for that to eventually make its way back into our hands. Richard, welcome to Collecto Monsters.
Hey, Richard.
Hello.
Hey, Rich.
Can you hear me okay?
Definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
Good. Awesome. Shrine of Grammar is one of the earliest things we were talking about, Kyle.
Oh, geez, that's right.
It's still out there. Yeah.
Did you know, actually, before we move on, did you know that I don't have control over that website anymore and that domain, and basically someone swiped the domain and also swiped the content and put it all up on their own. And while I was well, this is actually kind of cool that someone did this, there's like some nasty links in there,
Oh no.
Man.
No.
You guys, the internet is not a nice place.
No, it's not.
But yeah, so that's how.
Just as an example, I spent this past week adding something like 80 or 90 new characters to the site, which is a preview insofar as that says you can now browse the website by character. So if you really like Kanagon, feel free to go look at all the Kanagon stuff we have online and build a checklist.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that, and I spent about many hours this week reworking through all the content we have for the Bandai 8-inch figures, which that's significantly expanded. So yeah, a good bit of my time collecting wise has been working on this, brainchild of ours and helping Mike and supporting Mike to get it back up and going. Other than that, just buying stuff.
What? We don't know what that's like at all.
No.
Not at all. Not at all.
Tell us a little bit about what happened. Why did Club Tokyo eventually come down? I know that there was sort of like a big stretch almost where the website was sort of not in limbo, but it was almost like what does Club Tokyo want to be at the time, right? Like when social media was kicking in.
Yeah, that was part of it. It was there was a period since I think maybe around 2011 or 12 where we sort of our ability to add the content just started slowing down. And it was a combination of a couple of things. Number one, we're both just older and have a lot of other things to do, generally speaking. We're adults. So that interfered with it. And, before this build, all the code in the database, I built those in the previous versions of the website. So if you hated it, that was my fault. But, as Kyle and I were talking about HTML, and I promise not to go into tech stuff, it gets old. It got difficult to add things. Mm-hmm. And the breadth of Club Tokyo was such that you just couldn't keep up with everything that was going on. So it became a lot more for a while a chore than fun. And I think I'm not speaking for Mike, but I get the feeling he felt the same way. And so, I don't think either of us have really been interested in doing this without the other one because we both bring different perspectives to it. So, it just sort of went into limbo for a while, and eventually, the server, it was hosted by a friend of mine who was a server administrator. He just kind of got out of, he decided he didn't want to do hosting anymore. And so I knew it was going to go down, and I warned Mike ahead of time, and I pulled copies of everything down. And I think if I remember correctly, we warned people it was going away. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, you did.
Yeah, good. Thank goodness. So, and I had copies, and it went away. But unlike Shrine of Gamera, I kept the domain name and still own it. So it's just sitting there waiting on me to point it at something right now. So so it went down. Mike, bless his heart, it's been over a year now, and he's been working his butt off, just rethinking the whole site and reworking it and adding so much more information, again with me supporting him, and it's a rebuild of the site from the ground up. So it's not like, other than the database, I mean, why throw away the stuff that was already there? But it's a rebuild and a restructuring of the whole thing from the ground up. It's now going to be hosted, and is hosted, only Mike and I can see it right now, but it is hosted on its own. Again, I won't get too technical, but it's on its own server that we purchased. So it's not going to be competing with anything else. It's its own thing. It runs on its own box. And it's looking pretty cool, I think.
It's exciting.
So what was the catalyst for launching a Patreon on this specifically? And actually, I don't know. I would actually I would treat our audience as a group that might even not know what Patreon is. I mean, they might not even know it's a crowdfunding platform.
Yeah, it's you can think of Patreon as two different. I know it because I'm also an artist, and I use Patreons for my artwork. But what Patreon is, generally speaking, is it's a platform. It's not like a Kickstarter where you fund the project and you're done. It's a way to provide ongoing support for for primarily artistic endeavors. So if you think of Club Tokyo as Mike and I doing writing about collecting kaiju stuff broadly, because that's another thing about the site. It's way broader insofar as toys now. It's not just primarily Toho kaiju now. We have Bandai figures going back to 1972 now on the site.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Thank Mike. So I lost my train of thought because that's what I do. I can't remember where I was going with that. Oh, why Patreon? What's Patreon? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a way to provide support in an ongoing way to artistic endeavors. So support an artist, however you define artist, in an ongoing way. You can select different tiers that provide different levels of support, and it provides both public and private communities. I know a couple of you are already Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. And so some of you have seen some of the things that I've been trying to do, because I pretty well run it behind the scenes to sort of give people some looks behind the curtain at what we're doing and how we're trying to get it up and going. So why we chose Patreon is really two very different reasons. Number one is, to be honest, with social media, we didn't know how many people really cared about the site.
Mm-hmm.
So if, for example, Mike's put in over a year's worth of hard work and I've been helping him, is it worth our time?
Mm-hmm.
You know, do people really care when they have Facebook or whatever? And secondly is just because something, those of you who follow me on Facebook outside of toy collecting knows, one of the things that I often preach is people should be paid for their work. So part of this is Club Tokyo costs money, unlike posting on the Facebook. It costs money for hosting and domains and taking all the pictures and our time. So while we're definitely not trying to run the site for a profit, it'd be nice to, you know, not lose money on running a site that gets so much use. So I think really when it comes back to the Patreon, the real question that behind the scenes that we're asking is how valuable is it? And what can we do with the input of the people who support us via Patreon and talking with them, what can we do to make it better for the people who do care? So it's very much about, showing the value of it and making it more valuable through working with the people who support us on Patreon and getting their input.
Yeah, I like how that is actually, that instills a conversation between the creator and the patron, I guess I would say, right? So it's, for me, I definitely, as soon as I saw that you had launched this, number one, I have had, I'm sure you can understand this, I've had people for the past like 6 or 7 years telling me I should set up a Patreon as well. And I was like, I've always been hesitant because I had a successful Kickstarter campaign, and I was like, well, I want to do something cool as well, but I don't know if I necessarily need it to be, a monthly thing. So anyway, that's beside the point. The deal is that I have been looking for a reason to get into Patreon, and this was an even bigger reason to get into Patreon to check it out. So I was like, as soon as you said that, I was like, finally, even though that does not mean anything to the people who are already on Patreon who deserve all of this money. But I said, finally, there's a reason I have to get on Patreon. In addition to hundreds and hundreds of other reasons. But now I'm looking forward to seeing how you run it and how you're going to work with, the quote perks and stuff like that. Let's actually show people what that looks like at this particular moment. This is the current Patreon for Club Tokyo there.
Cool.
Yeah, so you've got two. Well, you've only got one membership level right now. So it looks like. So the deal is actually. Why don't you tell people what's the deal with this?
So I can talk about the tiers. So the tiers, it's a Patreon thing, right? So you can provide different tiers to supporters, usually at different amounts. And if you're an artist, for example, if you're at a certain tier, you may like however much a month, you might provide extra features or like give someone a free piece of art, for example. We're approaching this more as, we're figuring out how to use Patreon, but we're also figuring out the value of the website. So we're making a point to not offer things to people, but really gear this towards both supporting what we're doing and, should the Patreon be successful enough, perhaps do more with the site. One of the things that, for example, that will not be on the site because we're really focusing on the data is the articles we used to have up. So part of the question is the Patreon successful enough? Can we look at bringing the articles back in some new and interesting way? And would access to those be a Patreon tier? And again, this is the same thing we said we're going to do. This is just some of the conversations. So the question then becomes, is that a new tier at whatever level, and how we work with that? And some people have already asked about the article, so that might be something that we definitely do. So with the tiers right now, it's pretty straightforward, honestly. The one that's full up was I started with a founders tier, which basically means at that lower level, as we, in theory, if we add more tiers, because I'm making a point to not promise as we're figuring things out, the founders will have access to everything. There will never be any more founders than there are now. If someone goes away, I will reduce that tier. It's maxed out. It will never get larger. The other tier is $3 a month, basically to say you support our work and you think our work is valuable. And I send posts and give updates every once in a while to where things are going. I try my best not to spam people and send a lot of messages. But I just like letting people know that the work is progressing. I've provided a couple of screenshots. The founders get a little bit more than $3. And I try to describe in each tier what you're actually getting. So the $3 tier is right now, which is the only one you can join, is I support the work, and I think it's important. But the founders, since they're early, they get a few other things that probably will also be available at higher tiers should we do any in the future. So it's all about trying to figure out how we can add extra value to what we do. And by adding extra value, also have people through their support of it show that it's valuable. It's a way, it's a way of seeing how the site's valuable and letting us know that we're doing something and going in the right direction. So I try to make it very much a give and take.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm glad you guys. First up, I'm glad that you had the drive, because like you said, previously it was becoming too much of a chore. So I'm glad you guys had the drive to like push forward and get Club Tokyo back on track, I guess I could say. I'm looking forward to seeing how that conversation between the patrons and you and Mike ends up shaping the website in the long run.
Yeah, we've already gotten a couple of requests from people who hadn't seen it that we had actually already done. There's a lot of things in it that the site didn't do before that people are asking about. So I think we're already on the right path, and we already have started getting some feedback from people insofar as some of the things they would like to see. So yeah, I think it's starting to work out great. Yeah.
Samson gives some Club Tokyo some love from back in the day. Alex actually mentions that he'd like to see it include user content. Now I remember that I would send you guys some photos and be like, you don't have this on the website. This is a poster that I painstakingly set up in my kitchen so I could take a freaking photo of it.
Right now, and people have asked for that, we're not doing user submitted content right now. We have talked about possibly doing user submitted content, and maybe through Patreon, if there are some Patreon supporters that we trust, give them the ability to do some work, maybe like editors, for example. But we're nowhere near that, and it's just a conversation. And primarily that's because there is so much to do. I can't stress the amount of data that is going in, that is being added, that we're thinking about looking at how the site runs in different ways. Because what we really do is catalog things that were never meant to be cataloged, right? So how do you do that? Yeah. And we're getting deeper. Like one of the things I spent this morning actually working on was trying to hunt down the original retail price of most Bandai figures in the 8-inch
that's
scale.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude.
Most of them were 1,200 yen, but I mean, hunting down, and that's data points we've never looked at. We're starting to look at things like how tall figures are.
Oh wow.
Yeah, in metric. So I call them the 8-inch figures
metric.
still, but yeah.
Yikes.
Well, I mean, that's the standard, right? I mean, we call it by inches, but if you want to look at what these figures are and really understand what you're getting from Japan, you're looking at the metric scale. So we're really looking at that. So
it's interesting, Rich, just looking around our backgrounds. Yeah. The amount of things to catalog, just what you see on the screen right now is just a small fraction of what you guys have to deal with. And for those of you who may not be familiar with Club Tokyo, I don't think any of our viewers are, or maybe just a few, because it's been around for a while. It's been an incredible resource for collectors who collect, buy, and sell, because I've had to refer to, for the size, the color variants, the header cards. To me, I would love to see an archive of the header cards, not just on the bag, but separate, so you can see actually what the header cards, what figures go with each header card. So it's a really cool thing. And I've seen some sneak peeks from not only from Rich, but from Mike, and his photographs are phenomenal. Like, he's doing it all in the same format, and they look fantastic. And that's why I can understand not wanting at this point to have viewer submissions, because they want to keep it streamlined and sort of, on track to the vision that they're doing. But it's a great thing. I'm looking forward to it. I immediately, before I even knew anything about it, I signed up, and then I emailed, Rich and Mike, and it's like, which one should I do? Which one should I do? And it's definitely an important thing for the collecting community, and I hope that everyone feels the same way that we all do, because I would hate to see it go away, and I miss it that it's gone. So I just had to put my 2 cents in there for just a sec.
I don't miss it. I've got a copy on my hard drive. So no, the thing Club Tokyo brings, because this is one of the things Mike and I have talked about. What does why do Club Tokyo when we have various social media? And the short answer to me that I think we settle on for that is, you're going to post something in social media. You refresh the page in 5 minutes and it's gone. There's no real life or permanence to social media. And it's great for meeting people. I'm certainly not hacking on social media, but if you want to pick on David, if you want to hunt down what version of whichever Marmot figure you're looking for, that's a header card. Header cards are great because then you can even find out how much depending on the header card, how much a figure originally cost, what kind of exclusive it was, where it fit in the set. I mean, there's a lot of information there, and you're not going to really find that on social media. You're going to ask, and you're probably the 5th or 6th person that's asked that question. So I think that in a lot of ways is the value that a site such as Club Tokyo brings to the hobby in English, because this stuff's out there in Japanese on Japanese websites. We're not unique. We're just sort of unique in the English language, right?
Absolutely.
So,
any thoughts about an app?
An app?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about an app. It's the secret about apps. I'm a programmer. I promise not to get too much into this. Is mostly apps are websites that are just someone has wrapped around it and dropped it on there. Yeah, we talked about it, but I think right now, the question is, and this is an honest question, is how would people use it mobily? Because what are people really looking for on the site is, I'm assuming because part of it, I'm assuming how people want to use the site, right? That's what we're doing. It's just 2 of us. You're probably wanting to look at some high res images to get a look at, and they're much higher res right now. Some of them are 1,000 pixels wide. Wow. Some of the, you're looking for those images to figure out, is that photos,
it's fantastic.
What is it? What are you looking at, right? What are you trying to find? And you're wanting to look at high res photos. Is this the real, I don't know, Bullmark Baragon, or is it a reissue? And that's where you're digging in. I don't know. I would be interested to know how people would use an app and want to use an app, to be honest. So I guess that's why I turned the question around. I just honestly, I haven't figured the use case out myself. The site is, other than the giant images, is pretty mobile friendly as it is. But yeah, that's one of my questions. One of my questions is I knocked my headphones out. I gesture. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question by not answering.
No, that's great. Yes, thank you. I have many ideas. I mean, just in our tribe, when I'm in Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York, going from shop to shop, and you're seeing things, and you're like, having it available, on your mobile device, and being able to find what you're looking for and compare it and with the high res images. I mean, it's priceless resource.
Thank you. Yeah, it's I hope so.
No, it is. It would be nice to include some model kits too.
That's right, Keith.
Yeah, that's another thing. We actually knocked out model kits. We used to have we've taken stuff out to more focus on toys. We don't have posters in there anymore. Someone booed me when I last mentioned that. I was like, dude, I've got 70, 80, 100 posters. I like posters. But, we really wanted to focus on what we know and what we do. I have an Aurora Godzilla, but I don't really collect kits, so I can't really talk in any depth about kits beyond Auroras.
Understood.
And there are other people who can do this stuff, right? I mean, someone's asked, like, are we going to be doing news like we used to do? I'm like, well, there's sites out there now, like, Michael Farrow's site, who do news about you all do news. So why are we competing? Why compete, especially if it's something where we can focus on what we do, and what we do is be nerds about cataloging minutia that probably only Mike and I care about. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, we have a we have a hefty X Plus section, for example, but we're not really trying to compete with anyone else. And I had to rep North Carolina, so that's why I mentioned it. So I mean, it's trying to find our niche, and I think our niche is we decided that our niche is much deeper than it is broader, but that depth has allowed us to do more with what we're doing, which is primarily toys and gashapon. We still have tons of candy and capsule toys, even more on there. They're still a beast to categorize.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh yeah.
One cool thing we've done, and again, when I say we, it's Mike, is you can actually now trace a mold of a toy, assuming we put the information in, back to its original. So you may say this is you may say this is a cool M1 figure, but then it'll say something like a mold ID, and it'll actually let you trace back to like that's actually a Murasaki figure that was re-released by Bullmark, that was re-released by Enterprise.
Awesome.
So there's some things like that let you move back and forward to see what was re-released by who and that sort of thing. So it's by focusing more on that sort of thing, and again, credit to Mike. By focusing more on that sort of thing, we can go deeper into these things, as opposed to like putting up poster images or kits that, for example, that were brought up here that other people I think could focus on and probably do a much better job. So,
cool.
Toys, man. It's about the toys.
That's what I love. I love learning all. That's why I love Club Tokyo. You learn all about the different variants, the background. Like I am huge into finding out like where did this particular figure get released at? Like which Wonderfest was it? Like what exclusive is it? I love learning about the figures that I buy. Like I don't want to buy it just because I think it's cool. Like I want to know. Like I want to learn about it. And that's one of the things I absolutely loved about Club Tokyo. So I can't wait to see what you guys have on there.
Well, I mean, there's
2.0 comes out.
I shared my local copy with a group on the Patreon a while back. So any one of you who happen to be on the founders group saw where it's going on my hard drive. So there are people that either I or Mike have shared it with who've seen it. So it's
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Richard, I want to thank you for taking the time to chat with us about it, and hopefully people out there who are watching live, if they were on the fence, hopefully they're like, oh, cool, no, I'm into this.
Yeah.
But basically, all I wanted to help do, aside from shout from the rooftops that yay, Club Tokyo's coming back, is that I want to make sure that if you guys need support, that we can help, drum up a little support. So. Because of that, I will make sure to put the URL for your Patreon in the description of this video. But I think all you have to do is go to Patreon and search for Club Tokyo, right?
Yeah, and it's patreon.com/Club Tokyo Toys. We try to make it easy. Yeah, and if anyone, I'm pretty easy to get in touch with. If anyone has any questions about it, Patreon, because some people have asked, because for some people it's a new thing. I'm pretty easy to get in touch with and talk to. I hope I'm easy to talk to, but I'm happy to explain what it is and what we're trying to do. And I appreciate all of y'all letting me talk about it for a minute.
Absolutely, dude. Well,
yeah.
Thank you for being on.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
But you are one chunk of awesomeness in a whole big orange filled with awesome chunks, and so we're gonna go ahead and move along.
All right.
Do you want to stick around on screen, or do you want to hop out?
I'll hop out. It's about I'm having dinner made for me, so I need to go scoot out for my dinner. Yeah.
Right on. Well, enjoy your dinner, Richard. Thank you so much, dude.
Thank you all. I really do appreciate it. I really do. Thank you all.
Thanks, Richard.
Take care.
All right. Well, there you got it.
Exciting.
Man, Richard Cox working on ClubTokyo.org's relaunch through Patreon. A lot of people seemed excited in the chat. Thank you guys all for still sticking around and watching. We got even more people watching now because you're all awesome. And we are, the way we structured this episode is a little odd, but we're going to go ahead and kick off the actual news right now. And because we're going to kick off our news, I'm going to go ahead and kick things over to Leslie Chambers, who's going to talk about his news item. Take it away, my man.
Yes, in between the last time that we saw each other, like X Plus News, the next big thing, and I do mean big, that's coming from X Plus is, of course, they had pre-orders early in April of the new gigantic 1954 Godzilla, courtesy of the favorite Sculptors line. They said it got it came up for pre-order early in April. The standard is just Godzilla by himself, but the rig comes with 3 little those cannons that you can place in front of Godzilla to create like a little diorama.
Yes.
And of course,
you can recreate that classic image of Godzilla 54.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna get this figure, but I'm going standard because to me, I didn't think the rig was worth the extra $80 for those 3 little cannons. Don't get me wrong, they're fine, but to me, it wasn't worth the extra money. Not to mention that this thing, the standard, is already going for $500.
Wow.
So the rig is pretty close towards $575, $6, and God knows what's going to happen with shipping. But this good news is coming around the pipeline right now. EMS is starting to open back up in Japan on June 1st. So hopefully this guy will be able to arrive for us through EMS instead of the just horrendously overpriced DHL shipping. And he is due to drop in July. Now, I know a lot of people are asking, if you already have the original Sakai 54, why would you go after this one? Well, you know what? Let me bring up the guy right now. Because I do have, as you can see, I have the original gigantic 54, courtesy of X Plus, of the Yuji Sakai line. And I have to admit, it's a great figure, but it doesn't have the unique crisp detail that's associated with Sakai pieces. Now, the sculpt is amazing. The sculpt is spot on. This Sakai, his handprints are all over this sculpt, and it's spot on. But the crisp detail that we associate with the 30-centimeter figures, you might as well say the gigantic 2000, that has a great detail in that figure as well, but it's not apparent here on this gigantic. It's kind of bland, but I still love the figure. So the reason why I'm getting this new one is because I look at this figure, the Sakai, as that awesome iconic photo where we see Godzilla in Tokyo and the military weapons all around him shooting up at him, and he's just standing there. So it's more so of a museum pose with the Sakai. Now, this new one, to me, this is what I see. To me, he looks like he's about in mid-step, even though he got both his feet flat-footed. It's like he's in a position where, remember the second attack in Tokyo? There are moments where Godzilla actually stops and he's like looking around to figure out who he's going to kill or what section of Tokyo he's going to burn down. and so this sculpt to me reminds me of him being like in rampage mode. So that's why I'm going after both. So I can't wait to get this new gigantic 54. I think John's getting it too, and David's getting it too. So maybe we'll do like a comparison between the Sakai and this new 54 when it does drop. Once again, it's dropping in July alongside Death Row Ballante, so we're all gonna be broke that month. So just be on the lookout for that. So that's it. Yes, can't wait for this new gigantic courtesy of X Plus, the 1954 courtesy of the favorite Sculptors line, and hopefully it'll open more doors for other gigants to be revisited, like the 64, like the 2000, maybe the GMK. But you gotta start somewhere, and the fact we're starting off with the granddaddy of them all makes it that more appropriate. So that is it. All right, David, what you got in your news segment, my man?
Thanks, Leslie. And just for the record, I actually sold my Sakai Godzilla gigantic Sakai at the garage sale because what I agree with everything you said, but I just can't do 2 gigantic 54s in this collection room. And I'm trying my best to do the 1 in and 1 out deal. So there you have it. There's a perfect example right there. And so no, it's gone. But I am looking forward to this one because it's based on an old classic Inoue Arts model kit from the early days of garage kits. So there's a lot of history behind the sculpt. So I had to get that one. So Kyle, I believe 35 years old. See,
wow,
it's been around. It's been around for a while, and it's been reissued by Paradise and Wave also, and it's also the rubber skin, the outer skin of the RC Godzilla, the Tokyo Mirai RC Godzilla. So it's been around for a while. We've seen it, but G. Akamoto himself told me that the X Plus Sculptors retooled it a little bit to look a little more detailed. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that compares to the other model kit sculpt. So without further ado, my news segment. Kyle, I believe you have an image that I sent to you. Now, with all of the hype surrounding the legendary Godzilla vs. Kong, I'm going to give you a taste of the original classic film. So just released last week, actually I think it was the 12th, the actual date, is the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and 4K transfer Blu-ray of the classic King Kong vs. Godzilla from 1962. Now, it comes in this really cool collector's box with a really cool booklet with these fantastic movie stills, many of which I've never even seen before. And it's got some that we have seen before. And I believe that orange piece is as a program replica. I'm not 100% sure because I don't have it in hand, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's great. I can't wait. I actually just picked up a separate, you can buy separately just the 4K transfer because we don't have a 4K TV. There it is right there. And they're both available at Amazon Japan and also CD Japan, which I ordered mine from. And the set is $123 US before shipping. And the individual film is $42.92 US before shipping. So it's slated to appear here on Monday. So I'm really stoked to put that in the player and see what it is, see what's up. Because honestly, the Criterion set is fantastic, and it does include the Japanese print of King Kong vs. Godzilla. But I wasn't really satisfied with the quality of that print, so I need to have the quintessential version of one of my favorite entries in the show series. How was that? Was that the way I should do it? Is that good?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. All right. Yeah, so you guys can get it. They're available. Yeah, there's Leslie's got his Kong right there. It's the Kong that's so bad it's good. The one you love to hate, but I can't help but love that Toho Kong. And just I'm gonna real quick, if you'll indulge me. J.R. Liparito, our friend from Japan, actually has the box set, and I'm gonna read a quote when he first watched it, and he says, "I can't rave enough about how great this 4K remaster looks. There's so much clarity. You can see all the details in the costumes and sets, even the texture of the film grain. You'll feel like you can reach into the screen and touch the monsters." Now, how cool is that? I mean, who doesn't want that? I do. And I will have it on Monday. So I'll give a review on a separate video on our Collect All Monsters Collectors page. And we'll talk more about that at that point. But and real quick, they're also doing a King Kong Escapes. It's not in a box set. It's just a separate little Blu-ray, and that's also $42.92, and it is available at CD Japan, cdjapan.com. So if you want to get one of those, I would hurry because they don't have a very high volume of copies. So check that out. I'm going to be passing on it. Actually, I might not pass on it because supposedly there's a Linda Miller interview on there, and which would be probably worth the price of admission just for that. But Kyle and I had a conversation about how much I actually love the American dubbed version because the film is so whimsical and goofy and very cartoonish because it is based on the Rankin Bass cartoon. I like the over-the-top dubbed voices. You know, I love Paul Frees as Doctor Who, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, there's Keith. Keith loves Linda Miller. Keith got to meet her, which was really great. She's a wonderful lady, and I think I do have to pick up that Blu-ray just to get her interview. Hopefully, it's in English. I'm sure her part would be in English anyway. Anyway, that's all I got. How about you, Christine? What is your news segment this month?
All right, so it's actually currently going on. The thing I wanted to talk about. So Sarujiushi has finally a painted version. They just recently came up with a new sculpt of the 1995 Godzilla. So now there is a painted version, finally. It's actually made of clear yellow vinyl that is painted over, so it kind of has that cool kind of like glowing, burning look. It's being sold online this weekend at TreasureFest Online 3, which is kind of like, it's like Wonderfest, but it's all like, it's online. You have to I think it was like $10 to participate online. I don't really know if you can join overseas. I don't think so. I think it's like in Japan only. So I'm sure, if you're interested in picking this up, keep an eye out on Yahoo Japan Auctions, Mandarake, because pretty sure they'll be popping up on there just like with all the other releases. It's 15,000 yen at the show, so around like $150. But I am in love with the Sarujiushi Yamakichi vinyl figures that have been coming out. I think all of them so far have been sculpted by Masami Yamada, but it's just great stuff that they've been putting out. I mean, that's my Godzilla with the ukulele. I have that's by Sarujiushi. They have a Godzilla 64. They have the clear guts one that David, you and Kyle got, and now they have this new 95 sculpt that's out. So I'm excited to see finally a painted version of that. I might be picking it up. I feel like there's like a lot of Desugoji figures out there, but this one is neat. I really like the clear yellow vinyl that they painted over. It really gives it a neat look to it. So that is my exciting news for our segment. I'm always coming in with that good Sahubi stuff. My favorite. What you got for us, John?
Well, it would be an incomplete show for me if I didn't talk about a book. So this is the book. The art book for Godzilla versus Kong. The art of the ultimate battle royale. So this, I love any Godzilla book I can get my hands on, but this the way I evaluate art books is different. I mean, I look through the lens of a graphic designer, so I'm looking for good design and layout. This is a beautiful book. I think it's worth the price. Wide, oversized, hardback, nice dust jacket. And Carl, I have some photos. If you can
that you do, my friend.
And so, what I like about that, it has both art, concept art and photography. They're either full page or across the spread. So pretty. I think it's pretty thorough. It has 7 sections, and you kind of go through the process through the film. And for me, the price of the book is all worth it. The Mechagodzilla section.
Wow,
it's about 16 pages, and it has a fold out kind of centerfold. And so I didn't want to show you all the good pictures, but really,
I need to pick this up.
And I love the smell of a new book. So, I was ready to use my Sideshow gift card that I was given to get a copy, but Eric Chang of the publisher Insight Editions sent me a copy, and beautiful.
That's great.
Special thanks to him. Highly recommend it if you keep on adding those books to your shelves.
I love the the art of making books. I have from the first two, so you need to get
boy,
this
I tell you, I love art of books as well. And this, man, we're already an hour into the show, so you're welcome, viewers. I'm not going to go into a huge, long editorial rant. What I will say, though, is I am a fan of art of books. Okay, and this is basically everything from Legendary. These guys.
Oh, no way.
This is all the Legendary stuff. So Pacific Rim, Godzilla, Art of Skull Island, and King of the Monsters. And so I love art of books. I will say very quickly, I am very opinionated when it comes to them because, in my opinion, that's Fred Leslie. Yes. Anyway, my opinion, the be-all end-all bar was set for art of books in 1977. When this was released. Technically, this is the original release of the art of Star Wars books. But all of these books are basically what I hold any art of book to the standards of these books, old school stuff. And it really bums me out when a book like King of the Monsters comes out and it's essentially more of a making of than an art of.
Yeah.
And as much as I mean, I could keep ranting about this, but from what I've seen from Michael Farah's review on Kaiju Battle, go check that out, guys. Is basically it sort of skirts between being an art of book and a making of book. And all I'm going to say is make a making of book or make an art of book. Don't mix the media. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I agree. It's a tough road.
Okay, so I think I'm just going to go blaze through my personal choices, my personal choice for the news item, which means I have to open up my images. It's very quick. You guys are probably aware because as we've been doing this show for over a year, we have talked about many, many toys coming out. Many, many, many toys that are coming out these days. And if it's not a surprise, it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody here. I have been, for the most part, not buying Bandai figures, except for this year. 2021, Bandai has just decided to kill it. And I showed off the Singular Point Godzilla, the Singular Point Jet Jaguar. They have the new Kong that they just put out. I'm not going to show everything, but I just want to make sure that people are aware that while, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, I would have said, yeah, whatever, to Bandai Japan stuff, whatever, about those cheap, made for kids, made for everybody toys. Man, I've just been stoked with their actual output that they've got. So like this is a monster these are from the Singular Point show that's coming out that I have not seen anything of yet except for these images. Really, I'm hoping it's going to be a fun show. But they just did that poll we talked about a couple of months ago, and they're making the Megalon figure, not to mention they redid a Jet Jaguar figure, and they just announced a Mechagodzilla from 2021 as well. So I don't know exactly how I feel about Bandai these days. I thought I was out, but 2021 has brought me back into the Bandai realm.
They sucked you back in.
Yeah, they really did, because I purchased those figures. I think it was 3 figures that I purchased through Showcase Collectibles, and I was like, wow, this is the first Bandai, not premium Bandai, regular Bandai figures I've bought in a long time. And then it's like they keep announcing these new things that I'm like, God, I want that, and I want that. And the good news is that after collecting X Plus stuff and all the Sofubi pieces that cost me hundreds of dollars sometimes, it's really nice to say, oh, that's only a $30 figure. I'll take it. Oh yeah, even the Shin Ultraman stuff. The Shin Ultraman stuff came out really well too. So basically, that's my news item. And as we say every time, pretty much, make sure you go check out kaijubattle.net. Michael Farah's website has been cataloging
always good stuff.
Infinite more information than we could relay on these actual episodes. So thank you guys for hanging out and watching the news. If our next guest, who's been very patient, is ready, I think it's time for David to give a little introduction to a very special artist.
Sure. I'd like to introduce to you guys, many of you already know him, artist extraordinaire, artist, collector, and fan, John Bellotti Jr. And there he is. Hey, John.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, how's the lighting? Do I look spooky?
Oh, much better. Much better.
Good.
Much
well,
better.
Look at this. I can do my hair now. Much better.
Hey, John.
Yeah. Nice. Wow. Oh, my fans.
I mean, you
wow.
you got to do what you got to do. So John is an awesome guy. And before I turn the microphone over to him, I'm going to just tell you a little bit about John and what a great guy he is while Kyle is showing you some of his awesome work. So I met John at G-Fest. Oh gosh, 2015, I think it was.
Yeah.
And hit it off immediately. I responded to his work. I think it was specifically Mothra versus Godzilla from '64 image that he did that was just fantastic. We became pretty good friends. You know, he's from Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn. You know, bada bing, bada boom, the whole thing.
My favorite poster.
Yeah, that's a great one. So fast forward to G-Fest of 2019. We were talking about Baragon and how Baragon shoots a rainbow, which sort of could be sort of like, you know, represent gay pride because it's the pride rainbow. And he's like, yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe I could do some kind of an image to sort of represent that. I'm like, that would be awesome. And we talked about it a little bit. And then, you know, time went on. And then it was about a month before Gay Pride or a little bit before.
Yeah.
And I said, John, what's up with that Baragon Pride project that we were talking about? Oh, man, I got to get on that. So he absolutely got on that. And he created this amazing piece. And Kyle, I think you have an image that I provided for you of Keith and I wearing 2 of his shirts with that. You don't have it. It says Bellotti.
That wasn't in your folder when I downloaded it.
It wasn't in my folder. Well, that sucks. Anyway, it stinks. It was a beautiful image of Keith and I wearing our Baragon Pride shirts, and they came out wonderful. I'll post a picture in our group if you guys want to check it. I'll do that tomorrow. But anyway, that was my story, and it didn't get to see the image. But anyway, I'm going to pass it over to John and let him tell you about his artistic journey as it relates to this Godzilla fandom. So, John, please take it away.
I see it now, David.
Oh, you see it now? It says
I
Bellotti,
see it
right?
now. Literally added today.
Yeah, it was added today. It was added today.
All right.
So shall we check it out before John takes the floor?
Yes, absolutely.
There
you go.
Oh, that's great.
There you go.
I just can't thank him enough for doing that for the community. I think it sold pretty well. Hopefully, it got there was a lot of buzz around it when it came out. You know, mainly positive, and that's just the kind of guy he is. He's just a super cool guy, and you know, I love him. So anyway, John, the floor is yours. Tell us about you.
God, what do I even say to all that? You're way too generous. You haven't seen me when I'm hungry or tired.
I have. I totally have.
Did you see me angry? You saw me angry.
Not angry, but tired and hungry. And I took you Keith and I took you to get some vegan donuts. So yes, I have.
You did see me impatient.
Yes,
as you know,
yes,
I'm a New Yorker, and New Yorkers are naturally impatient. And me, David, and my wife were walking across the bridge in Seattle, and there was a kid behind us on his phone, and he was just walking at our pace like 5 inches away from us. And me, my wife, and David are East Coasters, and we're like silently getting angrier and angrier at this kid because he's not paying attention, and he's just texting. And then finally, like, we just let him walk behind us. We're like, my God, just move, just move. Anyway,
true story.
Because if you live in New York, you talk fast, you walk fast. You don't know where you're going, but you got to get there fast. As you know, some of you guys know. I don't know what to say, David. I mean, you kind of really embarrassed me with all that really nice stuff. But
oh, stop.
Where to begin? I've been drawn since I was a kid. I mean, most of you guys know me in the fandom. Leslie, thank you. My biggest supporters. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the support you guys give me. David and John, you two in particular, have hooked me up with so much photo reference for my posters that I can't thank you guys enough. Seriously, like my 54 poster was from these amazing posters pictures that John sent me of his X Plus. David, the 62 I did, which I think I sold the drawing of. That was from your awesome photography. I would see a photo from either of you guys. And yes, Leslie hooked me up with some great photos too for my Baragon piece. But just kind of deflected on you guys. You guys inspired me to do a lot of this stuff because I would see your photographs, and it's so clear because, as you know, when you look at these Showa era photographs, they're blurry. You don't know what the heck is going on in them. And I'm like, what am I drawing? I got to make this up. But then X Plus came out, and it's so hyper accurate, and you guys take these amazingly detailed high-res photos, and I could see the details. I just get lost in them. So seeing a lot of your photos has inspired a lot of my posters. So it's kind of like a reciprocal thing. And I wish I was making millions on them to give back, but I'm not. But I've done very well for myself. And
that's great. That's good to hear. Thank you for saying that.
Oh, well, it's an honor to draw your fantastic photos to both of you guys. But as you know, I met pretty much all of you at G-Fest 2015 because I did my Ghidorah poster. I posted online because I didn't want to pay a certain store money that I thought was a little high for their exclusive poster. And I won't name him because I like him a lot. So I did this Ghidorah poster. I posted it online, and then people really liked it. And it was on Facebook, and Ed Holland reached out to me and said, can I publish this in Monster Attack Team? And I'm like, wow, like what a great, like, first, I guess not like a big break, but it's like, I don't know, I guess it is like a break, right? I mean, it's kind of like a big break getting published right out of the gate. And then I did a Mothra piece, which I have now redone because I hated my original Mothra poster. And then a few people said I should sell my artwork at G-Fest. And I didn't know, I knew about G-Fest, but what I didn't know was that Artist Alley opened up an hour before the dealer's room. So when I got there, I was like tired and sweaty, and I'm trying to set up like 20 minutes before the show. It was like my first convention that I've done since I was like in my 20s. And the doors open, and it's like it's like that scene in like Starship Troopers where all the bugs are just swarming the military for the outpost. And I'm like putting my posters out on the table, and kids are just buying them. And I'm like, all right, guys, no, hold on. And I'm putting in my backdrop, and kids are just coming in and pulling. And I literally sold out of all my artwork at that show. And I said, okay, I got something here. I don't know what it is, but I got something. And then every show I've done after that, I've done better and better and better up until COVID hit, where my last show was my first New York Comic Con in 2019, which was the best show I've ever done personally and financially. Also, thank you, homie. I appreciate it. But last year I sort of switched. Thank you, Keith. And I love you, Keith. You're amazing. And you and Janine are like kismet. You two are just perfect together. Janine is my wife. Me and David are very similar energy, as you can tell, because I'm like constantly in motion, and so is David. And Janine and Keith are just like relaxed and chill. So they were perfect, like the perfect distractions for me and David when we would nerd out. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. What the heck was I talking about? Oh, so last year I sort of shifted gears because there was no comic book conventions. And I started doing a lot of commission work. And one of the things I did, obviously, was the Pride shirt for David, because the community, the LGBTQ community, is very close and dear to my heart and my wife's heart, and big supporters of the whole community. And if anybody messes with them, they're going to have to talk to me, because I have severe problems with that. You're welcome. So it was an absolute pleasure to do that. There was a little bit of negativity, but thankfully, David and Christine, I think you guys sort of jumped in there on my Instagram feed, and we sort of squashed that. It was just really ugly. But overall, it's been positive.
We don't need that. Yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah, it was just
necessary.
No, totally. And I thank you guys for sort of backing me up.
Not today.
Yeah. So last year, I started doing a lot of commissions for independent comic books. So I have a pinup coming out in a comic book called Tales to Enlighten. I've been doing a lot of header card artwork. I did a Marmot header card for Audrey for Kaiju Live. And I just got, yes, Alex, of course, Seismic. Look, Megadon. This is the Megadon that these guys gifted to me. I love this figure. And I did the header card for them. Yeah, it's awesome. These guys are great. It was my first opportunity to do header card art, and I really appreciate Chris Oglio and Alex of Seismic Toys for giving me that opportunity. I also did another one for them. And I recently I have a big announcement. I just got my, I did an officially licensed Aliens poster that's going to
go. Oh my God!
Dude, congratulations.
Wow. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That is so cool, John.
Yeah, it's a really, really huge deal for me. There was it's a company called Printed in Blood, and they do licensed artwork. And I submitted for the Halloween book, but I didn't get in, but I posted online anyway. And a lot of good artists didn't get in. Not that I'm saying I'm a good artist, but just a lot of artists just didn't get in. But I got into the Aliens book, and it's going to come out in September, and it'll be an officially licensed piece of artwork. And when I started this journey of doing Godzilla art, I didn't know what I was doing with it. It was just sort of like a side gig. But the last couple of years, I'm like, let me try to take this to like another level. Let me just see where I can go with it. And then I always thought my first licensed art would be with Godzilla, and I had no idea it would be aliens. Like, who would ever think that? But
that's pretty cool too, though.
I mean, it's one of the greatest movies of all time. Like Aliens, like seriously, like how happy could anybody be getting their art published? Yeah. Absolutely. So I have some other things in the works. Hopefully they work out, and if they do, you guys will probably go nuts. I can't say what one of them is because the company told me not to say anything because it's not official yet. So I have a very, very good chance of something happening, but I can't say what it is yet.
So the cool thing about NDAs is you can't say anything, but we can guess and you can nod when we're right.
Yeah.
So everyone has to keep an eye on your Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, just keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. I don't know when it's going to happen because it's the parent company can be a little hard to deal with, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm doing a. What did I just do? I did something for you guys, right? Should we segue?
Oh, whoa, that sounds like a great segue.
Perfect segue.
Well, I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to think of all the things I did. I'm trying to think what else I've done. It's just so many little commissions I've done. Michael Farah, I did a commission for him for Kaiju.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just been a lot of commissions. Yeah, so a lot of stuff like that. But we can get into the poster, and I'll give a little background to the poster. It was G-Fest, I want to say 2019, but correct me if I'm wrong, David and Kyle. It might have been 18.
It could have gone as far back as 2018 because that was when we had our very first little meeting downstairs, just the five of us.
Oh, wow.
And I think we met John afterwards, and we were just kind of throwing some crazy ideas around, and this was one of them. And then we did talk about it again in 2019. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was at the patio at G-Fest, and we were all a little tipsy. And you told me about Collect All Monsters, and I was like, oh, cool, it sounds awesome. And then you talked about me doing a poster, and then you guys started up, and then I think I was just like, I think I bugged you guys. I was like, hey, do you guys still want to do that poster? Because now it's like I have the time to do the commissions that I could never do before because of COVID. So I figured now would be a great time to do it. And, we could go right into the poster and the lead up to that if you guys want.
So I think that's
amazing. It's amazing.
Before we show anybody anything, I think that basically the thing I'd like to say is the concept that got sort of floated in my direction was what do we think if John were to do a poster image where the Collect All Monsters mascot is like a real kaiju attacking and we're on the poster.
Yes,
which
that's
sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And so we sent it. David pretty much wrangled this whole process. If you want to talk about it, this is an opportunity, sir.
Yeah, sure. So after the initial G-Fest, just throwing it around, wouldn't that be cool kind of talk, which, sometimes doesn't lead anywhere. This is even right before John contacted me to say, oh, should we go through with this? Go forward with this. I was having a conversation with Kyle and the rest of the co-hosts saying, wouldn't it be cool if, I found an old, you guys probably know, it's in the 1956 poster of Godzilla, King of the Monsters, had exactly what I had envisioned of what I wanted John to do for Collect All Monsters. And then I showed it to Kyle. He's like, yeah, that's awesome, dude. And he's like, he actually tweaked a couple of things and we kind of bounced it back and forth with the other co-hosts. And then we decided, we should go ahead with it. And then we sent John a couple of images, and then John actually asked us to do some photographs of us in different positions because he needed the references. And that was actually a pretty fun day. We were, doing our photos, and you'll see the end result shortly. But it was really fun. Yeah, here's some examples. Here's some examples, and you can imagine what you're going to see at the end because that poster is like a 50s exploitation poster. I know that one is gold right there.
I do want to add that the inspiration for Leslie's pose was from the cover of Action Comics #1. That's
yeah, the dude in the corner. Yes.
the guy like screaming. Leslie has to do that because Leslie, like I've always, because Leslie, you're so like stoic, and I wanted to see you just something off the walls. Perfect.
Yeah, it was definitely just really fun to see the evolution of John's work, and he would send us updates of his progress periodically, and we all just be like, oh my god, I can't wait to see this finished. So, and yeah, this is our mascot. And Kyle, did we decide on a name, or should we say
you and
it
I
now,
decided on a name?
We did, yes,
we did, and it's oh my gosh, it's Kamagon.
It's Kamagon
with a G. Kamagon
with a G. Yes, his name is Kamagon, and as far as we both know, there is no Ultra Monster named Kamagon. I mean, there could be.
I think that's why we're holding off on announcing it.
Yeah, we're like, is there a Kamagon? I don't think there is. And he's cool. And John illustrated. Oh, that's classic.
I was like, get out of here.
When I first showed Keith the images, he really loved Christine. He's like, oh my god, that really looks like Christine. I'm like, wait till you see the others. It's like,
they all are just like, it's incredible, John. Like how you could like that looks like an actual photo. It's crazy.
Thanks.
Crazy.
Yeah, so his name is Kamagon, and that's from here on
out. There it is, man.
There you have it. There it is.
We're close there.
There it is.
There it is, and it came out really, 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 really awesome. And at first I said, I don't think my beard's actually that gray. And then I'm like, Keith's like, yeah, it is. It soon will be.
Yeah.
Wait, I hope you didn't get any of my gray hairs in there.
It's just phenomenal. And as you can see, it's based on the Godzilla King of the Monsters US release poster. And it's just phenomenal. It exceeded everything that I had envisioned and that we had envisioned. And we're all super stoked to have our images sort of immortalized on
that's so cool.
This poster or a mug or a pillow or a sticker or a magnet or anything you can think of, and we'll talk a little bit about that later.
Kyle's on fire. He's on fire.
I can't stop myself.
So you guys what do you guys think in the chat room? Do you guys dig it?
All right, so in the chat room, I've seen it's in all its glory from Eric, but he may have been talking about a beard. I'm not really sure.
Oh,
maybe. Let's see. Booyah, that is a phenomenal, fun concept. Liam says he'd love a poster of that. Great news for anybody who wants anything with this image on it. We have basically uploaded this image and some alternate versions of that image to our TeePublic website. And so you can go on there and actually, I'll of course have a link in the show notes to it, but the Banana Hands user, you can go in and find the stuff that we're selling with the poster on it. And let me actually stop the screen share for a second, because as soon as this was ready, I uploaded it pretty much. And I even, I took some liberties as an illustrator to deal with some things that wouldn't take a poster image so well. So I have some awesome news that I showed these guys right at the beginning of the episode. And that is that I received my brand new Collect All Monsters.
Oh my god. What's
so
that?
basically,
Wow.
yeah. So I modified the design.
Oh my god, that's great.
With all the parts on it, so that it goes all the way around the mug.
Oh, nice.
Cheers.
Was that from TeePublic?
What's that?
It's from TeePublic.
That's from TeePublic, right?
Yeah, it's on TeePublic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the. I sell my work there, and it's sometimes like it looks cool on a shirt, and then when it goes onto like a mug or a pillow, it's like. And my files are so big, I just don't have the patience to sit there and futz with them. So I'm like, if someone likes it, they'll buy a mug, but they probably won't. So I try to keep it like straight up for the t-shirts,
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks great. Everything looks great. The way Kyle sort of manipulated it to fit onto the certain things that are for sale.
All the way.
Yeah, it's wrap. That was cool. I love the way that turned out. And look, you guys can have your morning coffee with us every morning. I mean,
That's
come
right.
on.
That's right.
Right?
It gets hot.
We
No,
got.
I'm super
What was that,
stoked.
John?
Super stoked that we have this.
I was going to say the file when I drew you, I used these new brushes. I was telling you about it, Kyle.
Mhm.
And it went really fast, but the problem was Kyle and David's beards. They were so detailed, and I was so excited to draw beards. I don't really draw bearded men all that often. No offense, I just always draw monsters or martial artists.
None taken.
Oh, good. So I had to make custom brushes for both of you guys. For you, Kyle, I had to make your own, and David has his own custom brush.
Wow.
And when I drew Leslie, I don't know why, but I must have put so much detail in there that it was slowing down my tablet so much.
Wow.
that when I tried to put all of them in all the
Keith.
images together, it was like Illustrator does not have enough memory. Like it kept like stopping. So I had to resave it all as like PNG files and put them all into like the poster image together.
Leslie broke it.
Well, when you're perfection, you can break things. Hello.
No, it's true.
It's gorge.
Dude, people are loving it, John.
I know that's
Great feedback from the live
It's
viewers.
amazing.
That's
My
exciting.
parents want a poster now. I can't wait to get like a huge one to like hang. Actually, probably back here somewhere. I'll put it for the show. I love it.
Awesome.
I ordered a shirt for Keith and a shirt for myself and a pillow for my ass when I'm doing the show. So it's gonna be perfect.
That's a good idea, actually.
I
Too
did
much
want
information.
to.
Yeah, I mean,
I did want to say something though about Kamagon. We spoke about it, and I agreed that you guys should definitely make a Sofubi out of that character. I mean, see,
Future Patreon rewards, right?
yeah.
yes.
If you remember when we were talking about how I was going to draw it, I drew you guys as realistic, and I said, "Well, how do we want to do the monster?" And Kyle said it should be like a Sofubi come to life, and I said that'll be. And I'm like, how the heck am I going to draw plastic? And I had to like figure it out. But then when I looked at it, it looks really cool. You guys should really think about doing a Sofubi. You know, maybe talk to Alex of Seismic about it.
Oh,
we're
there you
thinking
go.
about it. Yeah, it's great. And you know, John was asking us what colors, you know, would be great for it. And, you know, Kyle, I think said, you know, sort of like original Bullmark colors would be kind of cool. And there was more green in it. And then I said no, because it looked like too much like holiday.
Yeah.
We kind of changed the green to blue. And here's the end result. And I think it came out phenomenal. It couldn't be any better. It's just amazing. And yeah, Kyle is definitely on fire. He really is.
Poor Kyle sacrificed himself.
Well, you know,
it's awesome. It's just so fun. It's
just a martyr.
It's so much fun.
No, it was a fun collaboration with you guys. I really enjoyed doing it. I really did.
Well,
yeah, it was
we
fun to
love
watch
that
it
you did it,
progress.
and we wouldn't want anyone else to have done
Thank
it.
you
So
so
thank
much.
you so much.
Oh,
Good Alex.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Yes.
So thank you guys again.
Thank you.
Your website got mentioned, John, and I definitely wanted to make sure that we mention your website. You can go to Robo7 for John's artistic website, where he's got all sorts of goodness up there.
And I want to add that John Ruffin designed my website.
Oh, nice. Very nice, John.
Thank you, John. It looks incredible.
As I mentioned before, it's a great community we have here, people.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, John.
I just love your art. It's bright, colorful, it's my favorite.
John can even make Final Wars look like a good movie.
Okay.
That's talent right there. That man, talent.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
So let's see. We're currently at an hour and 40 here on the episode. John, thank you so much for being here for this particular segment. It was awesome talking to you. First up, I want to say I am in love with this print, and I'm stoked that I have my mug, but my T-shirt with the poster images is on its way as well, just to get here in time. And please, like, go out, check the show notes, go to the Banana Hands user, and check out all the different stuff that we put this on. There's basically everything from mugs and t-shirts to prints and stickers and magnets. It's a whole bunch of different stuff. So go check that out when you have a second. I would actually load it up if I had the URL at my fingertips, but I don't. What I will do, because I do have this at my fingertips, I do have a giveaway tool available to me. And so basically what we're doing right now is we are going to go into our intermission. But before we go into the intermission, it's time to talk about the live giveaway. We are going to be giving away one canvas poster print. I don't know how to say
Canvas
that. David,
print.
Is that how do you describe it?
It's a canvas print.
Canvas?
Yeah, canvas print.
Awesome.
Yes.
So we're going to be doing that live giveaway right now, basically. So when we hit the intermission video, that's when we need you guys to go into the comments and just put in the hashtag I want it, all in one word there. You put that in if you want this poster, and the tool will automatically grab your names. And when we come back, we'll actually run it, share it live, and make sure that StreamYard is making everybody making everything fair. But now, anyway, Keith, once again, I wanted. What's that? Oh yeah, Keith is exempt. Yes,
and Ryan Mitchell and Robert Dwyer. If you don't want it, don't say I want it. Okay. Just putting that out there.
Just putting that out there. Anyway, well, this is a great opportunity for us to say thank you once again to John Bellotti, not just for showing up to be on the show, but for doing this incredible artwork for us. I can't wait to see images of this out there in the wild.
Yes.
You're welcome, guys. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay. Well, having said that, we'll go ahead and kick off our intermission, and we'll be back in like 3.5 minutes. Enjoy.
Let's go.
諸君、これがスーパーロボット改造大計画。100万パワーの新ヒーローが46,656体。諸君の成功を祈る。家族揃ってポピーゲームスーパーロボット改造大計画好評発売中。
We must stop Godzilla before he destroys the city. I'm saying a prayer for the whole world. What could he want? Unless we find something to appease him, we're doomed! Hold out, hold out, hold out the ordinary. Hold out the doctor that bird. Don't be sold out, hold out. It's a taste that's extraordinary. No doubt it's Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper. Hold out, for the out of the ordinary.
ホームシアターチャンネルワウワウは年間500本以上の映画をノーカットに放送。さらに 肌身の方お断り。ワウワウ見るならフリーダイヤル3-80805。さあワウワウ5チャンネル。
Hey, we're back. Thank you for hanging out. And thanks for all of you guys who posted the correct hashtag. I want it, I want it, I want it. Loved that. You guys did great. I have absolutely no control over this if you didn't do that right. So it looks great. We're going to go ahead and share this tab. This is the giveaway tool from StreamYard. And I'm going to go ahead and start collecting the comments right now. Looks like we have 19 entries in there.
Excellent.
And ready? I think we should get a drum roll from somebody in the co-host here. Clicking the draw button. Look at all you awesome people. Who's it gonna be? The winner, James Davis Film. Congratulations, dude. Excellent. So you have won yourself a what is it? A canvas print of the poster.
A canvas print of our mugs created by the talented John Bellotti and our mascot, running away from our mascot, Kamagon.
Kamagon. Awesome. Yes. Well done. So I screenshotted that so we don't forget. We'll reach out to you, James, and because I think you're in our Facebook group, the Collect All Monsters Monster Collectors. And yes, yeah, that was awesome. And hey, thanks, StreamYard. That was actually super easy and cool. And
It worked great. That worked. It's nice when it works, doesn't it?
You know what? We have so much stuff to give away on this show, just in general, not this particular episode, but like throughout the rest of the year. I think we're going to be giving away something every single episode. And so it's great to have another tool that we can do that with. So there we go. That's not the entire show. We still got our big segment.
There's more.
There's more.
Oh, wait,
the
there's
big
more.
5, right? Leslie Chambers, would you like to tell us your idea behind the big 5?
Yes, absolutely. Basically, the idea is every single one of us are going to celebrate the big 5, of course, because we're in the month of May, the 5th month of the year. So I wanted to celebrate the big 5 major monsters from Toho: Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, King Ghidorah, and Mechagodzilla. And each host has a particular monster. They're going to showcase one of their favorite figures of that particular monster. It doesn't have to be your super favorite, but it has to be a favorite nonetheless, just to give some love and honor to the big 5 Toho Studios. And since I'll just go first, I got everybody's favorite flying, fire-breathing, at least gravity beam spewing, iconic space demon, King Ghidorah, or Monster Zero, or whatever you want to call him. Yes, he has 3 heads, big wings, and ironically has a roar that the science. He has a roar that ironically the Science Patrol used as their ringtone. I never really understood that.
True.
Now, just to break through it. Now, I am a huge King Ghidorah fan. Y'all know that. I have so many different versions of King Ghidorah. I think I'm at 9. I think I'm gonna have 10 before. Yeah,
Jesus.
I have 9. And I'm gonna have 10 in maybe like a couple weeks or so. And of course, my favorite version of King Ghidorah is the original of Monster Zero. So you probably think I'm gonna choose that one, but ironically, I'm not. I'm gonna choose a King Ghidorah incarnation that doesn't get talked about that much, which is understandable. But still, I think it's a great figure that I have in my collection. And it's the Kaiser version, the Kaiser Ghidorah from Final War.
Oh.
Now,
wow, that's surprising to me.
Yes. Yeah. Now this actually is a Goro kit that was made by Goro. That was made by artist extraordinaire Archangelo Cervillo. I got the kit from Burley Bang. What's up, Burley? And I had Archangelo build and paint it for me. And this is the same kit that X Plus used to make their vinyl figure presentation of Kaiser Ghidorah. The exact same kit, right? And the reason why I want to showcase this because I don't think this version of Ghidorah or Ghidorah gets enough love. It's not his fault that his film was a dumpster fire and a train wreck. It's not his fault. But to me, as Ghidorah is like Ghidorah or Batra or Space Godzilla. They're cool monsters, but they were in not so cool films. So, but that doesn't mean that we should hate the monster in and of itself. So I wanted to show some love to the four-legged Ghidorah, which I know a lot of folks don't really like King Ghidorah when he's four-legged, but yet they'll praise Death Ghidorah, and he's four-legged. I don't know. The minds of some Godzilla fans really hate me at this point. I don't know. But this is a great figure. Once again, it deserves more love, in my opinion. And he looks great alongside the 25 centimeter Godzilla 2004 to recreate that setup. And it's nice to see a version of King Ghidorah that actually beats the crap out of Godzilla every once in a while, because for all the many years, Godzilla has really beaten down King Ghidorah. But you have to admit, Kaiju Ghidorah really did kind of mop the floor with him before Godzilla turned into a Dragon Ball Z character. But that's another story. But that's my Kaiju Ghidorah, courtesy of Goro. Thank you, Archangelo, Bang, and that is it. So, David, what monster did you choose, and what collector did you choose, good sir?
Well, I ended up with Godzilla, okay, because it's what started the whole love for kaiju and Toho and Japanese sci-fi. So I got Godzilla, and I think Leslie, you of all people are going to be really happy with what I chose to showcase for my pick for the Big Five. And I think you know what I'm going to bring. It is the absolutely gorgeous 50 centimeter M1 rubber skin Godzilla. And you know, the criteria for this was not necessarily your favorite, but one of your favorites that stands out in your collection is undeniably awesome. And this definitely fits all of those descriptions. Got this, oh God, when we were still living in New York City, and from a place called Zaka. And my friend Greg Follender, who was my very first Godzilla friend in New York, it was just the two of us that really, went on, toy hunting safaris, etc. He helped me put this together. And we used coat hangers for the frame, for the skeleton, and duct tape and foam.
Ooh.
So
Wow.
it was very early in my model building days. So I really didn't know what I was doing. So I definitely needed some assistance. And, but yeah, this guy has been in my collection since probably 1992, 1993, around there. And, I know Leslie brought his to G-Fest, and we all took a picture with it. It's just an undeniably awesome kit figure. I mean, it's got rubber skin. The texture feels like you actually have a piece of Toho history. It's got the clear lenses, just like the KOC kits do. Definitely was not easy to paint. He's got a couple of scuffs here and there because the rubber doesn't really, the paint doesn't really hold up after all those years. So I got to touch him up from time to time. And he is a really big dust magnet, more than any other figure in my collection.
I bet, yeah.
But this guy, I'm just going to show him, in his entirety.
It's so
He's
big.
He's awesome, and it's a pretty perfect sculpt. I think the only one that I can honestly say is slightly better, dare I say, the quintessential 64 representation is. God, I sound like I'm on NPR. Sweaty balls. Whatever. Sweaty. Sorry.
David
is the KOC. Now you're not going to hear anything else I say for the rest of the segment. So I did it to myself. The 40 centimeter resin KOC 64 Godzilla that's put together with magnets and pins. And I'm actually doing my third one right now for Rich Iso, and he's actually nearing completion. So Rich will be receiving his figure very soon, hopefully at the end of the week. So, look forward to it. And thank you, Rich, for your incredible patience. Everybody knows that I haven't been feeling myself lately, so I haven't really been motivated to do anything much. So now I'm back on track, and I got my model building mojo back. So I'm kind of stoked to finish that for Rich. So that I think is the very best one, but this one is a very close second or third or whatever. The X Plus did a phenomenal job. We all know what the 30 centimeter closed mouth Godzilla looks like. But as far as my Big Five, my go-to Godzilla, just like Leslie, is the 1964 from Mothra versus Godzilla. It's a perfect representation of the Big G, and this is what I have to show. And thanks so much. And let's see what Christine Chapin has for her representation for her choice for Big Five.
All right, so I got Mothra. I mean, she's the queen of the monsters, and so the figure that I picked out isn't one that necessarily is like the most detailed or stands out. It's something that was a little bit different and cute. So this is the Sun Guts clear Mothra. Now this is the GMK Mothra. So I picked this one because I think I haven't really watched the whole like Mothra Rebirth series. So in the Godzilla universe, the way she was in this, this particular representation of her was so different from the ones that we're normally seeing in the Godzilla movies. It's like a huge change from like the 64 and the 90s Mothra that we're used to seeing. But I mean, this one you can't really tell, but it's super cute. She's very small and tiny. This was a WonderFest exclusive. It came in a little set. Yeah, it came in a little set with like King Ghidorah, Godzilla, and Baragon. But I just think it's really cute. It's clear vinyl. It's very colorful. And it actually does have a lot of detail on it for being such a small figure. She's got the little pointy. She had in GMK kind of like the little like hornets, little butt on her right there.
Right. Yeah.
And so I mean, I also have here the X Plus. You can. I'm sure everybody knows what she looks like from GMK, but like she's very.
Yeah,
I know.
really
I'm so glad
cool.
I got this one. But I mean, it was a
find
very stark difference from the 64. I mean, she's got purple eyes in this one, very, very different, brightly colored on her wings and longer legs, and the stinger she's got here. But it's just neat how there was, because you don't really see a lot of GMK Mothra figures, and it was neat to see like the difference of her representation between. I mean, here we have the little X Plus, very detailed, and then a little Sofubi of her. So I did have some pictures. I just want to talk about Sun Guts really quick, because Sun Guts makes some amazing figures, not just licensed kaiju from Toho, but he also makes his own original kaiju. Kyle, I think I have some images. So this is Sun Guts, Tadayoshi Ichimiya. He was a director for like advertising back in like the 90s for like films and TV shows and all that. And then in 2000 is when he started creating like his own various original licensed characters. So here's like a Sun Guts, and a lot of them are really small. Like these are small, and a lot of his stuff is very like you can fit it right in your hand, and it's very small and detailed. But the Frankie and Baragon, and then a lot of original characters like Shark Boy. Like a lot of his original characters are really cool, and they're different. There's a lot of different shark ones. Like here's another, I think this is Megalodon. He likes a lot of glitter, clear stuff. This one I think is really cool. Is Rabon? I don't know, I'm not sure how to pronounce it exactly. But I mean, definitely he has a lot of neat original figures that he comes out with that I think are really cool. Oh, this was recent, a sculpt that he did, a Godzilla 62.
I like that one.
And one that I'm gonna start hunting down. I've been wanting it forever. I just need to get one. It's called Kaiju Boy. Oh, this is one of his setups at, I think it was like WonderFest or Character Fest, but like he makes like, you can see here like a lot of these are his original creations that he's made. The dancing cat. There's another one of Rabon.
The dancing cat actually. I mean, I mentioned Sun Guts before. We've talked about them on the show because these guys make yokai figures. And so they make figures based off of old ukiyo-e yokai artwork. And I think the cat might actually be part of that line.
I think it is. I should have got some of his yokai ones, but he's got just like, and this is the one I really like. It's called Kaiju Boy. Kind of is like, you know, throwback to Man in the Suit and all that. And it's really neat. And
I like that one.
I mean, I would definitely suggest checking out a lot of his other stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a really, you don't really see a lot of GMK Mothra. She's got her little purple eyes. I don't know if you can see her in there, but and I mean, Queen of the Monsters. I mean, there's not really a lot of female kaiju in the films. That's my girl. I mean, she's the queen to me, Biolante, but I mean, Mothra's a staple in all the films, you know, and she really, the way she always sacrifices herself. Like, I always still tear up. Like, what were we just watching the other day? We just watched, I think it was the 64 one. I don't know. It's always sad, though, like, when she always dies, like, right at the end when her babies are hatching, and she, like, goes to save them. I'm like, it's just so sad. Like, she always sacrifices herself for her young.
She deserved it. She deserved it. Yes, I said it. I said it.
Leslie, that is terrible.
The 64 was minding his own business, and then Martha wanted to come in when he wanted to have
He
some
was
breakfast.
trying to eat her egg.
Well, it's not his fault that she was an absentee mother, so she got what she deserved. Yeah, John, I said it. I said it.
So yeah, I mean, she's a staple in all the films. I mean, you can't think of like Toho Kaiju and not have Mothra in there.
That's right.
So who's next? John, who do you have? I think most of us could probably guess who your favorite is.
in the Showa era, Mothra is the only one who defeated Godzilla. You know, so she's the
Not really, but okay.
This is true.
The babies, technically the babies, yeah.
Don't start that, John. No.
Oh,
No.
Leslie.
So if you start that, hey, you got the Monsterverse. You better take it and run with that. You can't have 62 now. You can't have 62. Sorry, continue, John.
Now, was I supposed to select a figure or just a item?
Well, I think selecting a figure or an item, it's if it's related to your big five, for you, the door is wide open, sir.
Okay, I'll land on the figure. Well, there's only one kaiju. Be classified as a kaiju, I guess you can. That out of the big five, that I would take over Godzilla, and actually did back in 1984, and that would be Mechagodzilla. If Godzilla did not exist, just give me Mechagodzilla and I'd be happy. It's just like, as David would say, the quintessential, Godzilla enemy.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I think you turned your microphone off, buddy.
Oh, come back, John.
There we go.
There you go. You're on.
I hit the mute button. Sorry. I got a new one too.
Too much excitement.
So there's many, anything Mechagodzilla I try to get. And I'm a 74, 75, and a 93 Mechagodzilla guy. Now, when the idea came up for this segment, I mean, I just started brainstorming because most of my Mechagodzilla items are kind of buried, and I have the many figures you can't see. Mechagodzilla is up above me, but there's many things I say, oh man, if anything in my collection I would love to just could be special to me. Between my laser discs, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, little reels of Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, the most powerful pipe, gotta have your pipe, that would be enough. A little pipe
titanium.
Yes. And then, I mean, I can't leave out the representations of, Mechagodzilla in print. I mean, this alone this book, if you don't have this on Mechagodzilla, you don't love Mechagodzilla. Okay, that's a book to have. Got to have that in the collection. But then I started reminiscing about my past, and this brings me around. So, growing up, you have to have your VHS.
Oh my gosh.
Mechagodzilla was everything. And one of my first Toho video,
I remember those.
And then
Godzilla versus the Cosmic Monster.
Yes,
that's one I had. Yeah.
If it's not going to be a vinyl representation, you got to have your Bandai, the Tokusatsu collection representation with this amazing Yuji Kaida artwork.
Wow.
Made it worth everything. But inside is a fantastic poster of Mechagodzilla.
John, you're supposed to pick one thing.
I know. But this brings me around. Here I'm about to land the plane. So, in 1984, Rocket Ships and Accessories, I always talk about them. My favorite shop. John Stanowski knows about Rocket Ships and Accessories. David, I don't know if you ever Did you know about Rock Shoes and Accessories in Philadelphia?
No, I've never
Oh
been
my
there.
gosh.
Sadly.
Well, we've got to do a segment one of these days on our favorite shops. And I went in and for the first time saw the Bandai figures, and they had the Bandai Godzilla 1964. But next to him was, if this, you know, the Bandai, you know, Godzilla, Mechagodzilla 74. I paid, it was $8.95.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I selected Mechagodzilla over Godzilla, but next week I came back and got the Godzilla. But Mechagodzilla was priority. So if I had to say one more thing, and this came at a time when I'm almost there, getting close to the end here. Okay, so
yeah, that was classic.
All I had for about 5-6 years. Aww. And I have 3 of these now, but my original, I wore the pages out. This is as close as I could get to Mechagodzilla. Thank God for Famous Monsters Filmland. But with that said, the figure, and unfortunately I don't know how to put anything together. I have to say the greatest honor, and if there was a Mechagodzilla that obviously means most to me, is the X Plus.
Wow.
You know,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And being able to do the art for the box, that's everything. To actually have an official,
that's phenomenal.
Be able to create an official representation of Mechagodzilla, that's the highest honor I could ever have had. So this is the one, the X Plus model kit that came out.
You didn't mention the
That's
gigantic.
a good one.
You didn't mention the gigantic.
He's up,
don't you have
on my shelf. I can't, you know, I couldn't. It's so many. The 30 centimeter, it's the 225s.
What you guys don't realize is that
cool.
John is actually broadcasting from inside of a life-size Mechagodzilla control unit in his bunker in Philadelphia.
That's the truth.
I believe it. I believe it.
The cast,
That's
I
the
have a cast figurines of Mechagodzilla. It just, it's too much. It's overwhelming, like to pick. But you know,
I'm terrible. I just got my first Mechagodzilla figure, last month? I know, I'm so bad. I know, I'm sorry, John.
But I'm so happy.
I'm still waiting for my gigantic.
Still?
You're
Oh my
crazy.
gosh. What did you see mail or something?
I don't know what kind of mail I'm getting. I've got no mail, but really fun fact about the Famous Monsters cover, John, is you probably know this. They were sued by Universal because they used the word bionic without permission.
Right.
So they had to change it to Cosmic Monster because Bionic was the $6 million man, Lee Majors. So Brian Mitchell was saying something about that in the chat room, but I remember hearing that story many years ago that they were sued because of Universal had it as copyright, the Bionic name. So
yes,
that's kind of an interesting little fun fact.
It is. So anything with Bionic Monster on it, you want to have it.
And it's funny.
So that's my pick. Kyle, back to you.
Oh wait, Leslie was going to say something.
Oh,
I was going to say, it's funny when you think about Mechagodzilla when he first appears. When you really think about it, you only see him for maybe half the movie because the first half he's disguised as the real Godzilla. So we don't really get to see what he can really do until the very end. But yet, in a way, what little we see of him, he does leave an impression upon you. So I can understand why John is Mechagodzilla crazy. But it's just that monster, that to me, in my opinion, the show of Mechagodzilla will always be the greatest version.
Yes. The meanest. Mean.
I agree.
Yeah.
Nothing against Heisei. Nothing against Millennium. We ain't talking about that crappy anime version. We ain't gonna get into that one. The Monsterverse. Anyways, like I said,
Monsterverse was mean too.
Fascinating.
I think they were the two nastiest ones. The Monsterverse and the 74. I think they really drew a lot from.
Well, those are the villain Mechagodzillas.
Yeah.
Everyone else is a hero.
Nasty
The other two are heroes, except for the city. Who knows what that is?
Yeah.
Can I add one last?
Yeah, go ahead, Don. Don, go ahead.
I was just going to say what brought me to Mechagodzilla. I remember the first time I saw Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. I was at camp and I got sick, so I had to be sent home a day early before everybody else. But I knew I would always know what was coming on because of the TV guide. So I knew it was coming on Saturday afternoon. And I was like, I've got to. This is it. And
So you got sick?
I did have a fever. I needed to come home.
So you were sick.
And I think I might have only been 12 at the time. And and I came home, and that was it.
You had a fever, and you've had a fever ever since.
That's right.
When it comes to Mechagodzilla.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And there's some things out there from Mechagodzilla which I had. Our remote control one. This is so much.
Absolutely.
So
excellent.
All right.
Yep.
Good
Okay,
stuff,
so there's one more of the big guys left on the big five, and that's Rodan, and that's my guy. So many people know this. If you are new to the show or new to me, Rodan was my very first kaiju movie ever. Like, wow. I was in a toy store in South Carolina. I used to live in South Carolina when I was a little kid. It was probably 1977. And I was in the store with my mom, and I saw the Mattel Shogun Warriors Rodan on display. And I was a huge dinosaur kid at the time. I had no idea what Godzilla was. I had no idea what Rodan was, but I was just drawn to it. I was like, what is that? That is so cool. And eventually I did pick it up. The one I had as a kid is no longer around. I have no idea what happened to that garage sale when I was 10 or 11, I'm sure. But thankfully, I have some really awesome friends. And so this is my Shogun Warriors Rodan.
Yes.
And he's very fragile, very, very delicate.
I know.
I have it hooked up so that he hangs from my ceiling off this fishing line, which is lovely. But I thought I would just very quickly, without breaking him, yikes, try and show you some cool features of Rodan. Number one, I think it's interesting that in the 1970s, obviously Godzilla was being licensed through Saperstein, Hank Saperstein, but also he licensed Ghidorah and Rodan to be released as Aurora model kits. But Rodan, as far as I know, is the only other Godzilla kaiju that has been released through American toy companies, at least in the 70s. So, and kids in the 70s, we didn't have electronic doohickeys that made all the screen accurate noises. So I'd like everybody to hear what the 1977 equivalent is to Rodan's screech in the movies.
Sounds like an old rocket chair.
Yeah, it's literally a plastic tab inside of this neck. It goes like a rocking chair. It just goes and hits little spokes. But Rodan, he features an opening mouth and of course that terrifying roar. Inside of him, and I'm gonna have to be really careful with him. I'm not opening him. Inside of him, these two wings are actually attached with rubber bands, so that you can put your fingers in these bowling ball style holes, right? And basically move your hand up and down, and Rodan's wings sort of flap in and out.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And like I said, they're held together with rubber bands. Rubber bands in 1977 were the epitome of technology for toys. And so there's another feature which does not work right now because you need a rubber band. It wraps around the claws. And what you could do, the way they advertised it, is that Rodan's foot could basically be extended, and then you put it over the top of a figure, and the rubber bands will clamp down on the figure. And you can fly away with them.
Cool. That's cool.
I love that. That was my favorite way to destroy my Star Wars figures was to have a giant Rodan attack. Anyway, so this is my guy. I love this figure. Actually, when the Shogun Warriors style was being reintroduced in the modern stuff, like the Super 7 releases, I know they did a Godzilla. I was like, dude, if they do a Rodan, I might have to buy that, because this is like my ultimate toy from when I was a kid, basically. And that's cool. I'm super happy that I have it in my collection. But dude, this is a fragile fragile mofo right here. Like he's amazing, and I'm happy to have him. But ugh, like the fact that I was like, dude, I'm gonna take my Rodan off the ceiling and bring him down for the show. I'm like, this may have been a huge mistake. We'll see how I feel tomorrow morning, right? We have to go back.
Don't break it.
I'm gonna try not to break it. Really,
Yes, be
really
careful.
try. But huge shout out to my main man Deva for getting this for me. He is amazing, and I absolutely love having this thing back in my collection. There you go. Our big five segment, everyone. All right, let me very carefully put this guy over here.
It would have been nice to have had a Mechagodzilla in the Shogun Warrior style.
Oh, that would be cool.
I'm just gonna say this. We don't. The Shogun Warrior style was not continued, as we know, but there is a fellow in our group. I believe his name is Tom Hughes, and he actually does 3D printed Shogun Warrior sized kaiju. So he does his own custom stuff. I would be surprised if by the end of the year I haven't tried to commission a Gigan from him.
Oh, is he the one that did the Gigan that has the spinning chest saw?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
he makes them like the Shogun Warriors toys.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
it's definitely
That's
worth
awesome.
checking
Stuff for
out.
sure. Yep.
Definitely worth checking out. I tell you what, if you're in the group, if you want to know, if you want to know who he is or where he's at, just shoot me a message and I'll send you a link to his stuff. But I think it's Tom Hughes, if I'm correct. Anyway, yeah, he does those things as commissions, and I would check them out. Thank you guys for hanging out and watching our Big Five segment though. Before we move on to our next segment, which is our Monster Showcase, I need to talk about a new item that is available and will be available a little more to you guys in the Ethernet. David and John also have the ability to showcase this. This is a new book that just came out. It's called The Godzilla History of Formative Arts, 1954 to 2016. This is a 500 plus page book that is filled with photos from the Godzilla series. And this book is available in Japan, will be available in the States very soon. It's if I recall correctly, it's $60 in Japan. It'll be $90 or $100 here in the States. It's actually it's not just an import, it is being like distributed here in America. And we'll post the link in the show notes and of course in the group as well. But I wanted to talk a little bit about this book because David and I were sent basically review copies. And
yes, absolutely.
There's no shame in admitting that the main reason that they sent us these copies is because they want American fans to know how cool this book is. And I mean, again, look how thick that is. Wow. This is thicker than any other Godzilla book in my collection, I think. Maybe
yeah, me too.
I should go count the pages of like the Art of Shin Godzilla and stuff like that. But basically, this is huge. Impressive. And the fact that it's like, actually, what's funny is like we were talking about the paper, David. Like the printing makes everything look gorgeous when we hold it up to the cameras. It's not reflecting.
Yeah, it's not glossy or anything.
The screens. So as I said, in all fairness and all honesty, this has gotten some negative feedback on Amazon Japan. And the reason for that is basically because people aren't happy with the paper quality, aren't happy with some of the graphic design. As a designer, I can understand some of those change problems and issues with that kind of stuff. But what I'd like to do is the rationalization that I like to do for myself. John, you just held up one of those Toho special effects books, right?
I got you.
Yeah. So these guys, if you are in Japan, right? If you're in the country that makes them, they're only $10. If you're outside Japan, they're going to cost you at least double that, right? Yes. One of those books, so you'd have to buy. You could only buy 10 books, 10 of those books, to get the cost of this book, which would not put you anywhere close to 550 plus pages.
No way.
Content.
Absolutely no way.
So if you are like Leslie and you're addicted to those Toho special effects books, or John and addicted to those, You might see a lot of the same content from those books in this book, but there's a lot more in this. I think there's a lot more content in this than the other books. I only have a few of them, but I'm absolutely stoked to have this in my collection.
They're just great photos.
You know, I want to say a couple things about it too, if you don't mind.
Of course.
It's 528 pages of all photos, basically, right? And it's large format paper, which Kyle mentioned, which may be a little off-putting to some people, and it takes a little bit of getting used to, but I think it really works for this particular book. The layout of the book is similar to those Toho special effects books that Leslie and John show every week. It's got some amazing photographs, that familiar and unfamiliar ones, images that I've never seen before, and that's pretty hard to do. I thought I've seen everything. There's so many photographs that I've never seen. It is going to be available at the Godzilla store, Books Kinokuniya, and you can get it right now, I believe, on CD Japan. For
you can get it,
I don't have
lots
the
of
exact
places.
prices, but we could put that in the show notes. But here's my take on it. I think it's great, and I'm going to compare it to the Criterion Blu-ray set. Is it great? Yes. Could it be better? Yes. Am I stoked that I have it? Yes. For the price, it's absolutely worth it. And if you're a fan of those books, the Toho special effects books, you know, it's just enhances the love for those type of books. So I say it's definitely worth the cost. So yeah, here it is on CD Japan. And actually, it's sold out currently, but I'm pretty sure they'll restock it at some point. And
it's going to be available here in the States too. Obviously, that's like
it will be available here in the States too. I think they said in the fall, if I'm not mistaken, it will be sold on the shelves.
The last thing I heard.
Of Kinokuniya. So you can go to your local Kinokuniya bookstore and just grab it from the shelf. So if we're going to give it a rating, I'm going to give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. That's my rating. You guys don't necessarily have to do that. I know some people don't like ratings, but I'm stoked I have it. It's great, and I do recommend it. John, do you want to say a few words about your impressions?
I love it. As a graphic designer, I can really, I appreciate the approach. I love the paper. I know that may be some may not like the paper choice, and that it's matte and all that, but just imagine if it was hardback with 500 pages and a more semi-glossy stock or something. It would have been
that's right,
$200. And for
or more,
it's a different approach, a different compared to all the other books. It's unique. So yes, 68 yen.
Yes, Ryan.
Yes, and to have them alongside with the other, with these, it's a really nice set. Especially if you're new to collecting Godzilla books, it's a great place to start. And like you said, a lot of unique photos. Can't beat it.
Can I say one thing?
Of course.
Always, Leslie.
As you know, I am into these books. I collect these books. And I will talk with my co-host whether I should go after this new book. Because truth be told, even though this new book is awesome, there are a few images that's in this book. There are also in some of the Godzilla books from the Toho store. So if you want to double dip, which is totally fine, because I'm sure we all double dipped at some point, I would like to say that basically you get the best of both worlds if you choose to go after both. With the one book, you get nothing but Godzilla, and which is great, right? But also, if you go the Toho special effects route, they not only cover Godzilla, they cover Anguirus, they cover Mechagodzilla, they cover Minya, they cover Titanosaurus. Even the new books that they're coming out, I think next, Monster X and Gigan 2004. Woo! Can't wait for that. Anyway,
yeah, major candies.
It's like so I cannot stress going after these books enough, because to me they're like watching a Blu-ray movie, except it's in paper form. If you don't feel like going to a Blu-ray, popping it in, wait for it to load, all you gotta do is just flip the pages, as well as the Godzilla book. And it's unfortunate that this new book is getting slammed on Amazon Japan or wherever it is. But as you heard it here, folks, if you love Godzilla and if you love collecting these type of books, it is well worth your time to go after it. So
looks like a really nice book.
It's interesting you say it's getting slammed. It's getting some negative reviews for sure, but every single person who has it here in the States that I've talked to, and that's quite a few people in the various collecting groups, is pretty satisfied with it. So Hopefully, it will do well, and maybe like you said, Leslie, it does not contain any other monster except Godzilla. Maybe they'll do a second one that has all of the friends and foes of Godzilla from the Toho series, which would be cool too. So, and it does only represent the Japanese versions of Godzilla, 1954 through 2016. It does not include any of the MonsterVerse or the TriStar Godzilla. So it is just the Japanese versions of Godzilla. So and the text is in both English and Japanese. I think we forgot to mention that too. So it's easy to understand, to read. I read a lot of the text. I admit I haven't read all of it, but it's pretty spot on. It's great text.
Admittedly, it's a picture book first and foremost. So there's even it's great that they have English in it, but I mean, definitely kind of above and beyond for them to put English in it, I think.
And it's a unique
but it talks about it in English, so you can see what's going on if you're into that kind of thing. Most of us are have these films ingrained in our memories. That's why I actually forgot to say that the King Kong versus Godzilla set that I talked about is only in Japanese. There's no subtitles or English dubbing, so I did forget to mention that. But I have seen King Kong versus Godzilla since I was a little kid. I don't need subtitles anymore at this point. I mean, I can pick up a few words of Japanese here and there, and I absolutely know the story. So for someone like me, and I dare say most of you don't really need the subtitles anymore. Do you guys still watch them, or how do you feel about that?
I still
watch the subtitle versions.
You still watch the subtitle versions? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I usually.
But I don't. I mean, I'd have to actually choose. I do not want to see subtitles on this for me to not see subs on something.
Yeah, I've been watching them without the subtitles because, like I said, the stories are so familiar to me. I don't find it necessary anymore at this point, except for the ones that I find more whimsical. The dub versions, like Monster Zero is one of them. King Kong versus Godzilla, and
back on track though. We should finish up our review of the book so we can move on to our monster showcase. All right. So thank you guys so much for. You got one more thing to say, John?
I was just going to say the book is unique. There's no other book that I can recall that's like it. I mean, it's very modern. So it's a nice, it's a new approach to Godzilla books, which is fresh.
For real. Yeah, huge. I give it major props for having such giant photos.
Yeah.
Back when we did the documentary, I remember saying I want to make a book where it's one page is an entire photo because I'm so tired of these tiny photos with teeny tiny text on top of it. Anyway, we'll have a link in the show notes so you can check it out on your own. And we will definitely be telling you when this is available in the States as well. I think, as we said earlier, it's probably August. But we're going to go ahead and move along. And that means it's time for us to take on our very next segment, which is the Monster Showcase.
Yes.
So let's actually talk a little bit about this. So the hashtag for this particular this episode was Sofubi Selfie, which, bam, there it is right there. The reason we did that is because the previous episode was our Super Saturday Sofubi show episode. And so this is continuing the conversation, continuing the love for Sofubi. And dude, how many people did we get photos from, David?
More than I think any other hashtag that we've had so far. Really,
I think you're absolutely
I love
right.
seeing them all.
Weaver!
Aww. awesome.
There you go. Well, guys, that was amazing. So many selfies. So many selfies. You guys did great with that. Our next hashtag, if you caught that at the very end, is celebrating the fact that we're having a whole bunch of great weather. So we are going to be doing nature versus kaiju. And David actually took a photo. Let me actually get this up here. David took a photo
Just
to
this
illustrate
afternoon.
what we're talking about. Bam.
Oh, awesome.
So that's what we want to see. I mean, not a
flower.
copy of David's photo here, but like basically, we want to see you guys get creative with bringing your kaiju toys out into nature. And yeah, we'll be accepting all of those fantastic submissions through the beginning of next month, and we cannot wait to see what you come up with for nature versus kaiju.
Cool.
Excellent.
All right. Got real quiet here all of a sudden. So maybe it's time for us to literally wrap up the episode.
We're all falling asleep now.
Thank you to everybody who has been watching live. Major congratulations to James Davis for winning the print. Thank you to Richard Cox from Club Tokyo for coming on to talk about his Patreon for the new website relaunch. Thanks to John Bellotti Jr. from Robo7 to coming onto the show to tell us all about his artwork and developing the artwork for our brand new killer poster image, which you can get on TeePublic.
So cool.
I think literally as soon as I finish broadcasting the episode, I need to get into the show notes and add those links to that stuff so you guys can get in there. But we're super stoked that you guys were happy. I mean, really, I'm super stoked. I know John was as well, that you're stoked to see the cool image that he made for us. And I know I speak for the rest of my co-hosts that we can't wait to see you guys sporting that artwork on shirts, mugs, hats, buttons, what have you. Make sure to show us, like when you get stuff, like post photos in the Collect All Monsters group.
Yeah, that'd be great. Love to see it.
Okay, well, I think we will literally kill this. Thank you again for watching. And don't forget, we will be doing way more all throughout the rest of the year and the rest of this month too. We're doing a ton of stuff, so make sure you keep connected with us. And I think this is where I kick it over to my co-hosts for their post-episode blurbs. John?
So if you're not catching this episode live, let us know in the comments if you liked what you saw or have any questions from today's episode.
And if you'd like to keep this conversation going, join us in our Facebook group, Collect All Monsters, Monster Collectors, where you too can be a Collect All Monsters monster collector.
And don't keep us a secret. Share us with your friends and family too. I think I'm supposed to say something else, but I forgot what it was. I'm like blanking right now. No more.
Nobody likes a secret.
Nobody likes secrets.
Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button if you enjoyed watching the show today. Had a good time watching the show today.
All right. So until next time, our planet may be doomed, our Earth devastated, the monsters are in revolt, and civilization is in chaos. We must unite and collect all monsters.